How are you feeling today? Do you feel fulfilled in life? The show will begin in 4 minutes. Are you ready? When was the last time you felt betrayed? When was the last time you felt loved? The show will begin in 3 minutes. Are you ready? What did it feel like to be in love? What is the most painful part of being in love? The show will begin in 2 minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready to be transformed? Are you ready to make a change? The show will begin in 1 minute. I hope you're ready. The show will begin in exactly 30 seconds. Get ready. Have you ever wished you could get any guy you wanted to be absolutely obsessed with you? Wouldn't your dating life be so much easier if the guys you really wanted desired you 10 times more? Well, good news for you, because on today's show, we're going to be discussing how men become emotionally addicted to you. That way, you no longer have to deal with the embarrassment of liking a guy who doesn't like you back. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. Welcome to the show, all you beautiful people. How are you all doing? You know, when I get the intro so flawlessly, I can see why people think that this is like pre-recorded, because like I really be doing this. There ain't no prompt or anything, you know what I mean? So I see why they think that. How are you guys doing? Gift is here. Gusego is here. Magdalena is here. Asset is here. I see Lou is here. Tutu is here. Who else? We got Scotty is here, of course. We got Soul. We got Shay up in the TikTok chat. Who we got in the YouTube chat? I see we got Mary Kim. We got Jazz. We got Tracy Nows. We got the Soulful Sanctuary. We got Luna. We got Sandra. We got Maria. We got Irina. And who was first today? Who was like our very, it was Tracy Now. She was first today. Okay, we got Carmen B as well. And of course, I want to mention Ivy. I got to mention Ivy. Ivy, she always be here, okay? And of course, we got the most amazing, most helpful, most intelligent Missy America holding down our YouTube chat as our moderator. Okay. All right, so someone says this is pre-recorded. Oh yeah, I'm an AI, guys. I'm not real. All right, let's get this party started. We are going to be talking about how to get men emotionally addicted to you. Okay, so because we're talking about a concept, and I love to make sure that you guys understand concepts, especially those that are a little bit more abstract. We're going to be doing a lot of writing in our whiteboard today. Okay, so number one is the first point that we're going to discuss is how anxiety creates attachment. Okay, now, before I even explain anything, like I said, we're going to hop right into our whiteboard so that you guys can better understand everything we're going to be discussing today, because it is a bit of an abstract concept, okay? I want you to understand this. I don't want you to be confused. So let's hop into our whiteboard. Of course, you see, you know, we really do this every day because, you know, I got some notes here from the last whiteboard session that we did on the show, okay? Don't mind that. Now, what I want you to understand about why anxiety creates attachment, we're not even talking about attachment styles here. I'm talking about in any human being, and specifically we're talking about men. Because the thing that you've heard a lot, right? So let's put here at the top, right? Anxiety equals attachment, okay? See, the thing that you've been misunderstanding about men all this time, you've been thinking that peace equals, you know, him liking you more. So we'll just say attachment. See, you've been of the understanding that peace equals attachment. So, when guys say they want more peace, I want more peace. I want to be peaceful. I don't want to have to stress myself out. I don't want to be stressed in this relationship. I don't want to be stressed about this. I want to be stressed about that. See, when you hear that, you're thinking, so then when I meet you, I should be thinking of all the ways I can say nothing, do nothing, not require anything, not speak up for myself or this relationship, not say anything, have any questions or anything that would throw you off your peaceful state. I should just let you do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want it, and make your life as easy as possible. See, that is your grave mistake, because when it comes to getting guys emotionally addicted to you, and you're in the mindset that let me do as little as possible, say as little as possible, because then that will make me peaceful and that will make him like me more, you're losing. Because what only ends up happening when you give him peace instead of attachment, right? So peace does not equal attachment. Peace ends up equaling, right? When you do it like this, peace ends up equaling boring, right? He ends up overlooking you when you're so busy trying to give him peace and do everything he wants, all the ways that he wants, not have any standards, not speak up for anything, not speak your mind, not have any perspective, just say yes to everything, okay? That's not actually what he wants, and that's not even the peace that men are describing that they would like, okay? You have to understand that a lot of times when guys ask for things, if you give them exactly that, they won't even give you the response or reaction that you want. So we're in the Players Club because I'm a guy, so I'm explaining to you some of the things that guys will say because they say this a lot, but I want to translate it for you. So it better make sense to you that you don't fool yourself into thinking, oh, my guy said he wanted peace, so I'm going to make sure I don't say anything or do anything that won't allow him to have peace, not realizing that you're actually making yourself more attractive, more unattractive to him in the process of giving him so much peace. So here are some of the mistakes when it comes to peace that you're making that I don't want you to be making anymore, right? So you think that being more peaceful equals allowing him to do, right? Allowing him whatever. Oh, sorry, I messed up, whatever, right? Allowing him to do whatever, whenever, okay? Now, we need to, let me be clear. Peace is not allowing your man to do whatever, whenever, because we've talked about this in the show before. See, when you don't require anything of your man, the guy that you're dating or the guy that you're seeing or the guy that you're in a long-term relationship with, when you don't require anything of him, when you have no standards of him or standards of the type of partner you want in a relationship, that man will live up to exactly what your standards are. So if they're very low, he will live up to those low standards. If they're very high and he wants to be with you, he will meet those very high standards. See, guys, a lot of them are only willing to do the absolute bare minimum to get the result required. So if they can get you and they like you and they want you, and in order to get you, they only have to do very, very little. Maybe, just take you out to McDonald's every once in a while, or maybe, they order Uber Eats on their account instead of yours when you guys Netflix and chill. If that's all they have to do to get access to you, then that is all they will do. If there is nothing more required of them, they will not do anything more. Most men, okay? Let's just be so for real. So I say that to say peace does not equal allowing guys to do whatever, whenever. Peace is not, right? One of the other mistakes you're going to make when you're trying to give guys peace, you're going to make the mistake of peace equaling having zero standards. Okay? Right? We don't want you having zero standards. Peace is not having zero standards because you're afraid that if you have any standards, it's going to break the mold of being a peaceful situation where he doesn't have to worry about anything and he doesn't have to do anything and he can just sit on his butt and do absolutely nothing in this relationship 100% of the time. That is not peace. And when you give guys that, you only become boring and more easy to overlook, because they don't have to think about living up to anything. They don't have to think about pursuing you. They don't have to think about doing anything for you in this relationship. All they have to think about is receiving from you. See, the reason that guys say that they want peace is because they want to put themselves in a situation, majority of them that are saying this, they just want to put themselves in a situation where they can receive from you 24/7 and never have to give to you, because you have no standards. And you're so worried about giving him peace that you think having no standards, not speaking up for yourself, allowing him to do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, you think that's serving him with peace. In reality, it's just serving him being able to receive from you without ever having to live up to the expectation of giving anything to you or doing anything for you. Are you following what I'm saying? So it's really an excuse to be lazy for a lot of men when they're asking you for peace. And I want you to understand this really important concept here, right? So I explained peace to you, okay, and why it's you're messing it up a lot. So now I want to explain to you how anxiety creates attachment in the opposite sense, okay? Now, see, here's the thing. When you're with a girl, when you're with a girl and you approach a girl, assuming he's approaching you, I hope that the men in your life that you're dealing with are approaching you. You're not going out and messaging them, or you hitting them up on Instagram or hitting them up on dating. I would hope you're not going into the club, going up to guys and saying, I think you're cute. What's your name? I would hope you're not having friends go up to guys for you. I would hope you're not in elementary. I would hope your friends aren't going up to guys for you and saying, my friend thinks you're cute. Okay. So let's start there. You're not approaching men. Okay, you can look beautiful, you can look stunning, you can look like a Disney princess that all the men are drooling over you and they come up to you because they want to get to know you. You're not going up to men. You can have eye contact with them and all the stuff that we talk about. You're not going up to them. Now, I say that to say, assuming those men are going up to you because they have the intention of getting to know you, you have to understand that the process, I want you to really take this in, right? The process of pursuit, right, is always going to be and meant to be an anxiety-inducing experience. Okay? Are you following me? I'm very angry today. I'm very passionate today. Pursuit is always meant to be an anxiety-inducing experience. Why? Because when I'm pursuing a human being, right, in my pursuit, I am unsure if I will get the woman. Okay? You have to understand, for us guys, when we're pursuing you, going up to you because we want you, because we want to get to know you, that experience in itself is always going to be anxiety inducing. It's meant to be anxiety inducing. You see, there's a reason we have things like the survival of the fittest, right? Because it's meant, the world is meant to develop in a way where only the strongest survive. And I know that when I talk about cavemen stuff, sometimes you guys be like, oh my God, cavemen stuff. What does that have to do with the real life we live? It does, because we were once that, but that is still instilled in us. So I say that to say, you have to understand, even when you were cave women, and we had cavemen and cave women, the strongest men were the ones that got to breed the woman, have offspring, and, carry their legacy on. The weak men who couldn't hunt, who couldn't find food, who couldn't do all the things necessary to keep their family alive, they died off, right? And so only the strongest survive. Now, of course, our life is different. We're not cavemen and cavewomen. So I just want you to understand, though, that the process of pursuing women is always going to be anxiety inducing, but it's meant to be anxiety inducing because not all the men are supposed to be successful in this process. The weak men are supposed to be in the corner jerking off, wanking off to the strong big dogs getting with all the women. Okay? So we are trying to set you up in a situation where you're only entertaining the big dogs who are prepared to do the hard things. We don't want to set you up, and this is the problem with some of the dating apps and a lot of the things that are resources for the men and you now, is that you now are in the position where when you see a guy that you like, instead of you just having to sit back, relax, and see if he comes to you or if he's interested in you, you now feel like, well, I really like you and I really want to make this work and I really want to talk to you and have a conversation with you. So before you even do any pursuing of me, I'm going to jump out and take a step out and I'm going to approach you and pursue you. This is a grave mistake. Grave mistake. Because like I talked about in our point here, anxiety creates attachment. But for a lot of you, when you have begun to like a guy, or you just start, he strikes your interest, you start thinking, oh, well, I really want to meet a really good guy. Like, I really want to meet a really good guy, and I want to meet him yesterday. So now that I see you and I think you're cute, this has to happen. We have to talk. I have to get your number. We have to go out on a date, and this has to happen. I need to be like a Disney princess in my Disney princess movie. I need this to happen yesterday, not today. I need it to have already happened. I can't wait any longer. So your anxiety actually ends up hurting you, because when you approach a guy that you want to talk to, that you want to get to know, you now take away his anxiety for you. Why? Because you want this to really work, and you want this to work really well, really fast. You don't want to wait. You don't want to wait for him to pursue. You don't want to wait if he's going to make the right moves or anything like that. You want to make this happen and take the control into your hands. But this is the problem, is that when you do this, all you're thinking about is how to make sure that he is happy with everything that's happening in the relationship, at peace, right? And he's happy. And so what do you do when you're thinking about how to give him peace and happiness the entire time, right? You constantly reassure him. Okay? And when you do that, you take away all of his anxiety. Okay? See, when you're reassuring him all day long, telling him how amazing he is, telling him how much you want him, you're telling him how much you like him before he's even asked you out on a date. You're thinking, oh, I'm doing him a favor because he's going to like me more now that he knows how much I like him and how much I want him and how much I want this to work. But what you're actually doing is you're making pursuit harder, right? And you're making pursuit less anxiety inducing. Because remember, I said at the beginning, the process of pursuing a woman that you want to get to know, that you want to build with, is meant to be anxiety inducing. Why? Because you're unsure if all of the effort you're going to put in to getting to know that woman and take her out is going to end up in you actually getting the woman. Remember, there's always meant to be competition. We'll talk about competition in a little bit. There's always meant to be the fact that not just you like her and are attracted to her and see the value in her, but other people in her life also see the value in her and are attracted to her. Nino said, this doesn't work with online dating. Precisely. I'm glad that you're noticing that. Are you noticing? Some of you might be noticing that as well. A lot of what I'm talking about here doesn't really work with online dating. So now, do you wonder why a lot of you aren't having success with online dating? Because the concepts that are in place that are meant to be in your favor and the way these things are supposed to work don't really work with online dating. Okay? There's a reason for that. So it's not to villainize online dating, but I just want you to understand their concept might be good intention and well intentioned, but in reality, for what you're trying to do and what you're supposed to be doing, it doesn't work. Okay? So I say that to say, right, pursuit, right, is meant to be anxiety inducing, like I said, because he's supposed to be unsure of whether or not all that effort is going to go into you and it's going to end up in you guys actually being in a relationship, right? You have to understand, like, think about even your favorite movies and your favorite teen dramas. How many times is the guy mustering up the energy with his guy friends to be like, oh my God, I really like that girl and I need to get to know her. I need to ask her on a date. He's slicking back his hair. He's thinking of how he can put this fit on. He's thinking about how he can say this and say this joke and all this stuff so that he can actually get that girl and get his number. Remember, survival of the fittest exists for a reason. You don't want to be giving men opportunities that don't have the courage, the charisma, the intention, the direction to be able to go up to a woman that they want, pursue that woman, and do the things necessary to build with that woman and be in a relationship with her. Remember, you can't do nothing with a shy soy boy. And for some of you guys, like, what's a soy boy? What I mean when I say a soy boy, I just mean a boy who is like, oh, I'm so shy, so nervous, so scared. I can't come up to you. I can't ask you for your number. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to be interesting. So rather than do any of that, I'll just not say anything. I think you're cute. I think you're interesting. I think, I would like to get to know you, but I just don't have the courage to because I'm so scared and I'm so nervous, okay? Right? We don't want you entertaining those men. It's unnecessary and useless to you because you're only going to end up being in a situation where you're in a relationship with a guy who you literally have to force to be intentional with you, to be a man, and to take control of this relationship. And so what will end up happening, you will have to be the boyfriend and the girlfriend in your relationship because your man is too scared to do anything. And you have to lead him and show him, hey, it's okay to ask me out on a date. Hey, it's okay to actually be consistent. Hey, it's okay to call me. It's okay to FaceTime me. Hey, it's okay. And that's ridiculous, okay? You can't be in a place like that. Your squirtle, you're between your legs is going to be very dry. Your mind is going to be very dry as well. You're not going to even be stimulated yourself. So everyone's losing that way. We don't want that for you. We want you getting with a big dog that's actually going to be intentional about you and a relationship with you. We don't want you wasting your time with any other type of people, okay? So very important that you understand anxiety equals attachment. So when you're thinking about how to give guys the ultimate peace and reassure them all the time, you're actually making it harder for him to have that anxiety in the process of pursuing you because he's supposed to be unsure. He's supposed to not know where this is going to go. He's supposed to just try to put his best foot forward because of how much he wants you. And here's the thing. And this is part of what I really want you guys to understand. And I actually want you guys to take this opportunity to look within yourself to see how this also applies to you, because honestly and truthfully, this is a human thing, not just a men thing. Okay. Now, I'm going to lay out two scenarios for you, right? And let's even do this right here. So I'll split this page in half. And here on this side of the table, we're going to have, okay, anxiety. And we're going to have reassurance. Oops. Assurance. Okay. Okay. So we're going to have anxiety here and reassurance here. Now, I want all of you to answer me a question. So this is where everyone in the chat has to participate. I need 100% full participation. Okay. Everyone answer to me. When you think to the guys that you are in relationships with or situationships with, okay, I want you to tell me, do you feel like, and you have to be honest here, that the guys who gave you the most anxiety you like the most, or the guys who gave you the most reassurance you liked the most, okay? Now, everyone in the chat is either going to say anxiety or reassurance. So I want everyone in the chat to participate and tell me, which guy do you think you like the most when you're thinking back to the guys you dated and the guys you liked and all that stuff, all your dating history? The guys who gave you anxiety you liked the most, or the guys who gave you reassurance you liked the most, okay? Everyone has to be honest and everyone has to participate. I'm going to give you guys a moment to all give your answers in the chat so that we're all clear here. Okay, everyone gets an opportunity to answer, and I want everyone to participate. Is it anxiety or is it reassurance? Okay, I'm noticing a theme here. Okay, so I want all of you, because I don't like it to just be like me, like I'm talking out of my butt, like I know what I'm talking about, and nobody else knows what they're talking about. I want you guys to all take note of all the messages in the chat. So I want you to take note of what your answer is, but I also want you to take note of all of everyone else's answer, okay? The reason I say that is because some of you are saying reassurance, so for sure, I see some, but overwhelmingly, a lot of people are saying anxiety, okay? So let's use a little bit of logic to try and break down why the guys who are giving you the most anxiety are actually end up being the guys that you like the most. Because, I mean, based on what guys say, right? Of course, this is you and you're a woman, but based on what guys say, they want peace, right? They want, it to be easy and not to have to stress too much and things like that. You'd be thinking in your mind, well, for them, it'd probably be like reassurance. So like all the girls who give them reassurance. But notice, even for you yourself, the guys giving you the most anxiety are, for the most part, for most people, are the guys that you're liking the most. Now, here's the thing. Let's break this down, okay? See, when someone's giving you anxiety, what are you going to be thinking, right? You're going to be thinking about them, right? You're going to be wondering about him, right? You're going to be thinking, what is he doing? Like, why doesn't he like me? What does he want? Do I like him more than he likes me, right? What have I, right? One of the things, what did I do wrong? Okay, you're going to be thinking, did I hold my fork the wrong way on our date? Did I say the wrong thing? Does he not like my background? Do I not have a big enough dump truck? Am my yitties not voluptuous enough? What is the issue here? I don't understand why I feel like I'm way more interested in him than he is in me. Or I feel like sometimes he doesn't want to talk to me. I feel like sometimes he would rather be with his boys, or sometimes he would rather go out without me. What is the issue? You're going to be questioning things, right? You're going to be questioning your relationship. And all of these things here, right, underneath anxiety, all of these things that we discuss here, all of them take up what I call brain space. Okay? Now, when I say brain space, what do I mean, right? So I'm talking about brain space in the sense of how much time in your day, in your week, in your month, do you spend thinking about this one particular person? The person in your life that you're going to be feel the most attraction towards and feel like you like the most is always going to be the person who takes up the most brain space. If you think about it logically, that makes sense. If I'm thinking about someone more, it's probably because I'm more attached to them and I care more. As I care more, I'm going to like them more. I'm going to be more attached to them, and everything that they do, I'm going to think about more. So that's going to take up more and more brain space. So there's a snowball effect. Now, on the opposite sense, where we have reassurance, I want you to be thinking about things like this. See, when you have a whole lot of reassurance, and I mean over the top reassurance, and I'm talking about reassurance from the very beginning, from when he first comes up to you before he even says his name, and you're already telling him all the ways that you love him, care about him, and want to be in a relationship with him. When he gives you so much reassurance that you can't even think straight, right? What's going to happen for him, right? He's not going to question anything. Why would he? Why would he have the need to question anything? I mean, he's in this relationship with you. You already told him all the ways that you like him and love him and want to be with him. He just came up to you. Literally, he just saw you at the bar. He came up to you, and as soon as he came up to you, you're already like, you're the best thing since sliced bread. I don't need to hear you say anymore. I don't need to hear you do anymore. You look like a model. I would love to be with you. I would love to go out on a date with you. In fact, I'll go on any date and do anything that you want for us to do because I want this to work so badly. You thought that was peace, right? You thought reassuring him would make him like you more, right? But in reality, he's not going to question anything, right? Because he knows how much you want him and how much you want to be with him and how much you want this to work, right? Reassurance, right, makes pursuit less anxiety inducing. I feel like I'm spelling that. I think it's inducing. Okay, right? Makes pursuit less anxiety inducing. The reason I say that is because when you're doing that, remember, men are supposed to be pursuing you. The experience in pursuing you is supposed to be anxiety inducing. But when you're doing that and you're reassuring him, especially when you're reassuring him over the top, thinking that's going to make him more peaceful, make things more easygoing. Now you're making the experience less anxiety inducing. Now he's not going to feel that same level of attachment to you. Why? Because the process of having so much reassurance that he doesn't have to think about anything takes up less brain space, right? Remember at the beginning, when I was talking about anxiety in our chart here, we talked about how all of these things, right? Thinking about them, wondering about them, what did I do wrong, questioning the relationship. This takes up a whole lot of brain space. As I think about you more, I care more about every little thing that you do. So think about this, right? If I'm questioning our relationship and you text me something like, hey, what's up? your mind is going to go to 1,000 different places because you're going to be thinking, what does what's up mean? Okay, so he said hey instead of hi. So when he said hey, does that mean that he really wants us to have a conversation and that's why he's saying a more formal hey? When he says what's up, is he saying what's up for the rest of my week, as in like what's up for your weekend that I want to hang out with you this entire week, or I want to see what day you're free? Or does he mean what's up as in like what am I doing like right now? Does that mean like he's saying what's up as in like he's free right now and he wants us to hang out right now? Or does he mean what's up as in like what has been going on with me for the past 1 week and he just wants to catch up? When you like someone, your mind is going to go to a million different places simply by trying to understand and decipher one thing that that person said. And remember, it's like a snowball effect. And as you're deciphering each and every word and you're trying to put this, it's like Scrabble, you're trying to put this word with that word and you're trying to understand this context with that context and you're trying to put all these stuff together to try and understand the relationship and the person that you're questioning. It just takes up more and more brain space. And it's more and more anxiety inducing. And so as he's taking up more brain space in your mind, you're liking him more. And so it's the exact same thing for the men, right? This process of pursuing you is already anxiety inducing. So all of these things he's supposed to be questioning in the process of pursuing you, not because you're a toxic person, but simply because you have a life. Simply because you do other things other than just sit around, watch paint dry, and wait for him to text you back or call you. It's going to be anxiety inducing because he might feel like, oh, I hope she still likes me. I hope she still wants me. I hope she still wants to be in this relationship with me because I really like her. I really want this to work and I would really appreciate building a relationship with her. Okay. So I say that to say you don't want to be in a situation where you're meeting guys and you're making it very easy for them to pursue you because you're thinking, oh, I can, just if I just be peaceful like all the guys say that they want, give them all the reassurance in the world, tell them how amazing they are, those guys will like me more. No, in reality, those guys will like you less. Why? Because of what we just discussed and how when you're overly reassuring those men and you're not giving them any anxiety, they're only going to not have you take up any of their brain space. I know it sounds like a weird word, right? But they're not going to think about you. They're not going to question anything. But the process of questioning your relationship is what makes them analyze every single thing that you do, every single thing that you say, and every single reaction and facial expression that you give them. I want you to understand the same way you are when you're questioning your relationship with the guy and you're trying to decipher this word and that message and that message and this message is the same thing that guys do when they're pursuing you and they're getting anxiety, not sure if you really like them or want to be with them. They're analyzing every single little thing that you do. So even when you're literally just living your life and you're literally just being you, in the process of just being you, he's trying to understand, did hey, what's up mean hey, what's up right now? Or hey, what's up for the rest of the week? Or hey, what's up? What have I been doing for the past week, right? And the guys are thinking that too and overanalyzing that too. And you're taking up their brain space as well. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, like I mentioned, when you're not doing any of that because you're overly reassuring him, thinking that, oh my God, all the guys that I like should get all this reassurance so that they know I like them. They know how much I want to be with them because that's going to make it clear to them that I want to build this relationship. In reality, you're making the process of pursuing you less anxiety inducing and easier for him to overlook you. Okay? Right? Does that make sense? Kel said, why would you teach a woman to attract anxious men? I'm not teaching you to attract anxious men. I'm helping you understand whether you're secure or anxiously attached. It's still going to be anxiety inducing as a man to pursue a woman and not be totally sure about exactly how she feels about you. Because when you're interested in someone and you like someone, you're gonna read into all the signs. Do they like me back? Do they want me also? Am I getting somewhere? Does she like me as much as I like her, right? It might not be as intense for people who are anxiously attached as it is for someone who's securely attached, but it is a natural occurrence for someone to like you, have interest in you, and think about you because of the interest they have in you. Now, in the process of you just living your life and you just being yourself, right? Because remember, when you start dating a guy, you already have a life. You're going to have a life before you start dating him, and you're going to have a life after you start dating him. You have friends, you have places to be, and you have other priorities outside of him. Guys need to see that. And in the process of you doing that and living your life that way, having other things going for yourself, you're automatically going to induce anxiety within him, because he's going to say to himself, I'm building this with her. I like her, and I want this to work. And sometimes when you're going off and doing your own thing and you're not trying to spend every waking moment of your life with him, he's going to say, damn, she's just being her, living her life, doing her thing. But damn, I really like her and I really want to be with her also. Okay? Right? Does that make sense? Kale says, this isn't true for secure men at all. Okay, then go ahead and do what you've been doing. Maybe you should reassure all the secure men as much as you want, and let's see if those secure men pursue you. Okay? I have no problem if you don't agree with me, but you probably shouldn't be here because I ain't teaching that. All right? So I hope that makes sense to you guys so far, and why that's very important, okay? You don't want to be overly reassuring men for no reason, because it just doesn't serve you, and those men will only take that and they'll overlook you, or they'll just stop thinking about you. And what will happen is they'll start looking at the women who are not giving them a whole bunch of reassurance that they have to chase after and they have to properly pursue to get access to, and they have to live up to standards for, and they will go and pursue those women and try and live up to those standards, okay? Does that make sense? So someone said perfect response. I always tell you guys, there's nothing wrong with us disagreeing, but if you feel like everything I say is BS and I have no idea what I'm talking about, the best thing for you to do is probably go watch someone else who feels the way that you feel, okay? I don't know why. What's the point of coming in here and just saying, this is all wrong? Okay, sure, maybe, I don't know. So next we have here, breaking the cycle is number 2, okay? And I really, really, really want you to understand this. I need you. I need you to understand this, okay? Here is the thing. See, the men in your life, and I'll just tell you this as a man, okay? So let's assume the guys you like are attractive men, charismatic, they have things going for them. Women would like to be with them and like to be in a relationship with them. See, a lot of guys understand, those guys understand that when they are building with the girl, and this is actually where we'll get into different attachment styles here. When they are building with a girl, they start dating a girl. They start seeing her, going on dates with her, slurping up spaghetti in front of her on Saturday nights, and everything is great. See, they know that one of the most amazing tricks in their bag is to pull away from a woman they started dating and started seeing. Why? Because when he sees you, you guys are slurping up spaghetti, having laughs, ha, 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 this is so amazing, ha, 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 very demure, very mindful, you guys are having a great time. And this goes on for a couple of weeks. And then that guy pulls away from you. See, the really smart guys know that this is actually a key pivotal point in his relationship or situationship with you. Because when he pulls away from you, what he's doing is he's adjusting the balance of power to be in his favor. Why? Because guys become accustomed, and this is why it's called breaking the cycle. Guys become accustomed to the cycle of, hey, I meet you, we go out on some dates, you enjoy your time to me, now you become attached to the idea that we're gonna be together. As you become attached to the idea that we're gonna be together, you want this to work also. When you start attaching yourself to the idea that you really want this to work, and I pull away from you, what are you gonna start thinking? Why did he pull away? Why does he not want to talk to me anymore? He used to be interested in me. Now he's not interested anymore. Now it's went from me pursuing you to now you're thinking about how you can pursue me, do things for me so that I no longer pull away from you, or I magically have the same level of interest in you that I once did before. And see, this is why I call it breaking the cycle, and how you can get a guy emotionally addicted to you by breaking the cycle, and why this is so important. Because when you finally are the first girl in his life, that you break the cycle of him being able to pull away from a woman and then that woman chases after him, and you're the first woman in his life that, you know, he pulls away from and is unbothered by him pulling away and goes about your life the same way you've been going about it, what it tells him is, oh, I'm actually not that special. I'm actually not that important. I'm actually not the best thing since sliced bread. She actually has other things in her life other than me. If I don't text her, there will be other people texting her. If I don't ask her out on dates, there will be other people asking her out on dates. If I am not prepared to be the man required of her to be in a relationship with her, there will be other men lined up, crawling on glass, ready to sniff her butthole that will gladly be the man that she needs. And it's a very humbling experience for guys when they finally meet a girl that they can't just pull away from, and that girl will go bonkers. That actually has her life whole and fulfilled, that she doesn't need that man, not that you don't want a man, but you don't need that man to be in your life in order to have happiness or to just exist. Very humbling experience for men. So when you break that cycle, that makes him emotionally addicted to you. Because he starts saying, oh, you don't need my approval. You don't need my validation. And see, this is the thing. The way a man's perception of you is always going to affect how he treats you. So he becomes more attached to the idea that you have a lot of value when he sees how unbothered you are about the fact that he's not going to talk to you, or he's not trying to hang out with you, or he's not asking you out on dates, because he associates you being unbothered by that with the fact that you have other things in your life. That it's not that big a deal that a single guy loses interest in you, because there's 100,000 other guys who have lots of interest in you. And see, in his eyes, I know this sounds horrible. Okay, I didn't say everything here is going to sound cute and cuddly, but the reality of it is, in his eyes, when that happens, he says to himself, oh, well, now I realize the value you have, because the only way you can be so unbothered by me pulling away from you is if you have so much value that everyone else wants you and wants to be with you, that it doesn't matter if I'm not prepared to be with you. I always love to give you guys this example that I feel like is really representative of why this is so important. If you were to walk into a Louis Vuitton store, and let's say you walked into this Louis Vuitton store for the first time and you see this amazing, beautiful red dress on the wall. It's so stunning. It's got sparkles on it. It just looks amazing. The figure of it looks amazing. The material, you feel it looks amazing. And you go and you try on that dress, in the change room, and the dress fits you perfectly. You walk out of that change room and literally the employees at the change room, they're fainting. They're like, oh my God, it's the most beautiful girl we've ever seen. And you're in this beautiful red Louis Vuitton dress. It's hugging your curves perfectly. It literally looks like the small Asian boy in the factory stitched this for you and you alone. And you want to buy this dress so badly because of how perfect it is for you. Then you look at the price tag, and the price tag on the dress says $3,000. And you're like, oh, I like this dress, but maybe it's not $3,000, of value to me. I don't have $3,000 to spend on this dress. So let's say you go to that employee, right? That cashier at the front desk, right? They call it a sales associate for the Louis Vuitton store. You go to that sales associate and you say, hey, sales associate, I love this Louis Vuitton dress. You see how all the other sales associates and everyone else in the change room was fainting when I tried it on. You see how amazing it looks on me. I just want to know. So the price tag says $3,000. I was curious if I can pay $50 for that dress. It looks, you agree, it looks amazing on me, right? That dress is amazing, right? I would love to just pay $50 for it instead of the price tag of $3,000. That would be really amazing for me. And the sales associate says, no, not a chance. Dress looks amazing on you though. If you come back with a credit card or a debit card or some sort of form of payment, cash, whatever, if you want to get coins, whatever, and you want to pay $3,000 plus tax for the dress, you can walk out of here with the dress. But you're not going to walk out of here with a discount on the dress. We're not going to negotiate the price on the dress. Okay? No ifs, ands, or buts. The dress's price for a reason, because that's the value of the dress. And if you can't afford to pay for the dress, that's perfectly fine. You can walk out of the store empty-handed, and I guarantee you there will be someone else who comes in here who will gladly pay $3,000 for the dress. I'll see you later. Okay? That's what the sales associate is going to tell you. And so I just give you that example to help you understand when something actually has value, people aren't going to be sitting around waiting to give you a discount on it. They're just going to say, I don't care how much you like it. If you're not prepared to pay the price for it, the price that is actually stated on the dress for the value that the dress has, you are not going to get the dress. We can high five. We can laugh about it. We can giggle about it. I can hug you. I can tell you how amazing it is. But you're going to pay the full price for the dress, or you're not going to walk out of here with the dress. And so you have to have you have to adopt that same mindset in your relationships and when you're meeting guys. I'm glad you like me. I'm glad you want this to work. I'm glad you think my dump truck's amazing. I'm glad, we're vibing and it's a whole bunch of vibes, very demure, very mindful. It's so, yeah, I'm glad. That's great. However, if you're not prepared to do the things necessary, the consistency, the dates, the being the man that I need, all the stuff that I'm being intentional, all the stuff that I require of a man who's going to be in a relationship with me, that's fine. Someone else will do that. It's perfectly fine. I'm not even upset at you if you can't do that. I actually feel bad for you that you're not capable of doing that because it's so sad for you. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to let my sadness that you can't do that lower my price. It's not going to change. Okay? Right? And you really have to adopt that mindset, right? It's either meet the price of the value or don't, because the value is the value. And many people are prepared to pay for that value. So you got to break that cycle with men of allowing them to think that they are going to be able to pull away from you. And in the process of pulling away from you, you're going to then be so anxious and be like, oh my God, he doesn't like me anymore. And now I want to do everything for him. And I want to be the boyfriend and the girl. No. You can't do it. Perfectly fine. Someone else will. Okay. When you break that cycle, those men start saying, oh, maybe I'm not the man. Oh, maybe I'm not the best thing since sliced bread. Oh, maybe I can't just bend her to my will by simply pulling away from her or not speaking to her for a little bit. Maybe when we have an issue, I can't just ignore her and, she'll come begging for me. Maybe I actually have to apologize when I do something wrong. Maybe I have to apologize when I wrong her or disrespect her. Maybe I actually have to be a man and face situations instead of just pulling away from her, knowing that she will just say whatever and forgive me and have no standards. Okay? We don't want that for you. Miss Nikki says, I want to be the girlfriend and the boyfriend. That's funny. Okay. Right. I hope, does that make sense to you guys so far? Right. And why that's so important to break that cycle. Now we have, anxiety creates attachment. And we have breaking the cycle, number 2. Okay. Now, number 3, this is what we're going to call stop pooping time. Okay. I really, really want you to understand this and take this to heart here. Number 3 is having a clean house. We're talking today about how men become emotionally addicted to you. But I want you to understand, they cannot become emotionally addicted to you if they don't feel it's necessary to treat you properly. I'm going to give you an analogy, and then I'm going to connect this with everything that I'm going to discuss with you. I know that for some of you, this doesn't make sense. Let's imagine a scenario in which you have a friend. Okay, we'll just call it a platonic friend. You and this platonic friend have never been to each other's house, but you're starting to like this friend, hanging out with this friend. You're having a good time. You guys go out together. You're cool. You feel like you match each other's vibe. And that friend invites you over to their place, right? Just for you and a girlfriend, okay? We'll say just to keep it platonic. You and this girlfriend end up going to her place. And when you enter her place, it's absolutely spotless. I'm talking about the carpet is so clean. It smells like a dream in there. The bathroom is spotless. The shower is spotless. No hair in the sink. No products on the counter. Bed made. Everything pristine and clean. Not a dust bunny in sight. Okay. Now, when you go over to her house and it's spotless, you're like, wow, you really clean up. And she's like, yeah, I like to keep things clean. I like to keep them, neat and tidy. This is usually how I have it in here. I'm a pretty, kind of a neat freak kind of thing. And you're like, wow, that's crazy. Then you spend some time at her place. Everything's good. You guys have a good time. Then the next week, it's her turn to come to your house. What do you think you're going to be thinking when she comes to your house? You're going to be thinking, okay, let me make sure that stuff isn't too dirty around here, because when I went to her house, it was spotless. She can't come to my house. I got underwear on the floor. I got stuff everywhere. My closet is unclean. You're going to be a little bit more self-conscious about the fact that you want your place to be clean when she comes over to your place, because you see how well she takes care of her place. And you'll be a little bit nervous that if she comes to yours and your place is dirty, she might start judging you based on how she lives her life. So you're probably wondering, okay, Tomisin, what does that have anything to do with my relationships or guys becoming emotionally addicted to me? Here is the very important thing that I want you to understand. See, when you start meeting guys and they start building with you, from the very first time they meet you and have conversation with you, they are immediately learning about you and how they should approach you in this relationship. This is a dynamic that is changing and flowing as they get to know more about you. So you need to be hyper aware of that, because that's going to affect how he treats you, how he approaches you, and his perspective of you. We want you to receive princess treatment. However, this is what I want to make clear to you. See, men find it very hard to be attracted to or even addicted or obsessed with a woman who they don't feel is obsessed with and taking care of herself in the same way she expects that treatment from a partner. Let me break this down for you a little bit more. You see, if I meet you as a man, and you say you expect princess treatment, guys to take you here and do this for you and do that for you. But when I meet you and I see how you treat yourself and go about your own life, I don't see you treating yourself with consistency. I don't see you being intentional about the things that you want. I don't see you doing any of the self-love or care for yourself that you expect to receive from a man in a relationship. Now, I know this sounds really abstract, but what that tells me is how you treat yourself is representative of your house and how you take care of or don't take care of your own house. So if I came over to your house and you live like a pig, when you come to my house, I'm not going to be as self-conscious about if there's clothes on the bed or anything like that, because I already know in comparison to how you live your life like a pig, it's not really going to matter that much if I have a few clothes on my bed. So when guys meet you and they learn and understand you to be someone that doesn't take treating yourself well, he will start thinking to himself, well, I'm just going to meet her exactly where she already is. So if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't go out and do things for you to make you happy and self-care and love yourself, and he can see that and learn that through the process of meeting you and getting to know you, he will say, great, that's awesome. I will treat her as horribly as she chooses to treat herself. Now, this is a little bit of a painful one, because this one takes a little bit of self-awareness and self-realization, because guys are going to be emotionally addicted to you and attracted to you when they see that you treat yourself so well. Once again, guys don't become emotionally attached to women who they feel they can overlook or feel like they don't have to meet their standards or expectations, because the process of feeling like I'm with someone who I don't have to live up to any standards or expectations, that's not anxiety inducing, because I feel like I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want, and it doesn't matter. You have to understand, anxiety is also induced by the fact that I feel like everything matters, and everything that I say and I do is going to affect the possibility of whether I end up with that girl or not. So when I meet you and I feel like you don't even have any standards for yourself and you don't even love yourself, I start thinking, well, there's not that much to do here with her. It's not like really like I'm going to have to do that much to make her feel like, you know, she's loved. It's not even like she does that much for herself. So the standards are lower. And so then the anxiety is lower because I don't have to live up to much. And if I don't have to live up to much, why does anything matter? Why does how I treat you matter? Why does giving you princess treatment matter? Why does being respectful matter? Why does anything matter if you're going to take whatever I have to give you? Why? Because you already take whatever you have to give yourself. You don't even hold yourself to a standard. And like I said, guys might be a little bit emotionally stunted, but they're not idiots. When they meet you, this process of learning you starts right away. Okay, let me just fix this here. Right? That process of learning starts right away. And so they're learning from the very jump what you accept for yourself and how you treat you. And they're actually, and I know this sounds really weird. I know this sounds really strange. I know it does. But they're actually learning from you how to treat you. I'm going to say it again. They're learning from you how to treat you. Now, I'm not saying it's your job to show a man how, to treat you like a princess and stuff like that. I'm just saying when you're expecting princess treatment, you also should be aware that you want to show guys you give yourself princess treatment, right? Because when they approach you, they're going to see, oh, yeah, she only accepts the best, so I'm not really going to have a chance here. But when they see that you don't even treat yourself with princess treatment or take care of you, they're going to say, oh, well, I'll just meet her exactly where she's, how she's been treating herself, like trash. I'll treat her like trash too. Well, we'll all treat each other like trash. Trash is trash, right? And that's exactly how it'll be. And like I said, when he doesn't have that anxiety because he doesn't feel that there's a need to live up to anything or there's no standards or expectations, he's immediately going to overlook you. And when he's chasing after his dream girl, when he's pursuing the girl that he really wants to build with, that he's like, no, that's the girl I want, he's going to be trying to think about how to live up to her standards because that's the girl that he wants. Okay. So the reality of it is guys are very prepared to do the hard things necessary when they really want a girl, if there's someone who is capable of moving with intention and direction, which is the same reason why I say don't be dating soy boys that can't do anything for you and are too shy to do or say anything. Okay. And so you want to keep yourself in a position where the guys feel it's necessary to live up to something, feel it's necessary to do the right thing, and feel it's necessary to put themselves in a position to win and get access to you by living up to those standards and expectations. Are you guys all following me so far? Okay? Does that make sense? The Soulful Sanctuary says, and let's stop using the past and how others treated you for your self-esteem. Like Cat Williams is called self-esteem, the esteem of yourself. Exactly. And I've talked about this on the show before, that none of you, when going out on dates, especially at the very beginning, you should not be spending majority of your the first, part of your dating history with someone. Don't be spending that time trauma dumping about all the ways a guy did you wrong. Now, I'm not saying you have to lie to anyone, but how I want you to present situations, even when guys have mistreated you, is once I realized that this person wasn't prepared to treat me how I expect to be treated by a partner, I immediately cut that person out of my life and moved the hell on. They will never have access to me again after treating me that way. You want to present to guys that you go out on dates with like there is a graveyard that exists of men who could not live up to your standards and expectations. Why? Because if you let guys in on the fact that when guys in the past have treated you horribly, you just went back to them time and time again, and you forgave them 1,000 times, and they cheated on you 1,000 times, and you caught them 1,000 times, and you stayed and you stayed and you stayed, those guys are just going to think to themselves, great, I'm going to treat you the exact same way because I'll get millions of chances just like them. And all the guys that you date are always going to think that they're better than your last ex. They're going to think they have a bigger schlong. They're going to think they have a wider smile. They're going to think they're tighter. They're going to think they're taller and better looking. All the guys that you date are going to think they're better than your last guy. So I say that to say when you tell them that your last guy treated you horribly, they're thinking, well, I should get away with even more. Okay? We don't want you presenting your past relationships as if, oh, I got used and abused, but I stayed and I still let this guy talk to me and message me to this day. He's going to say, wow, I can do way worse than that if that's what you need and that's what you like, okay? Don't do that, okay? You want to make it you want to present to guys, I cut people off as soon as they show me that they're not prepared to be the partner that I need, and they don't get no chances after that, okay? So, number 1 was anxiety creates attachment. Number 2, breaking the cycle. Number 3, having a clean house. And number 4 is what I want to discuss as ego attachment. Now, what I mean by ego attachment is when a guy likes you and wants to be with you, wants to build with you, you have to understand the process of you being, a high value woman in his eyes. He will begin, and he actually believes that, he will begin attaching you to his ego. Because if you're a high value woman, let's just break down what that would mean, okay? If you're a high value woman, that will mean that you are scarce to all the men that want you, but also a lot of men want you. So all these men are crawling on glass. They're trying to sniff your butthole and they want access to you. However, you're not accessible to all of those men who want you despite how much they want you and beg for you. Okay? That makes you have value to anyone, really. That's how business works as well. Okay? That's how marketing works, right? Scarcity to demand ratio, right? So when you have a lot of demand, but you're scarce to all of these guys that are in demand for you, that means that you have value subsequently, okay? Just hypothetically, you're not an object, right? But you get my drift. So I say that to say, then when you have that much value as a woman and you're that scarce or unavailable to all those men who want you, that then says to him, oh, the process of getting access to you in itself is something that when I look at me or when people look at me, just having you as my woman is actually subsequently a representation of me. And so they begin to attach the process of even just getting to be your man to their ego. Because when you're that woman that all the other men want and he has you, he now gets to feel like the man because he has you. I know it sounds very not straight, but I promise you they're still straight, okay? And this is very interesting, but something that you can use to your advantage. Because if you can present yourself that way in the relationships with the guys that you're building with, then all of a sudden, he's going to start approaching you that way. He's going to start approaching you like a prize to be won. He's going to start approaching you like something that if he gets it, oh my God, everyone's going to see him as the man. And so what is he going to do if you become someone said like a trophy girlfriend? Kind of like that, right? But trophy in the sense where getting you is also a representation of him being the man. And so what do you think he's trying to do if he knows that he can be the man by getting access to you because of how much value you have? He's going to try and put his best foot forward in the relationship with you or in the process of building a relationship with you. And this is part of how you get guys to be emotionally addicted to you, because we're not talking about physical addiction. We're not talking about wanking himself off to your pictures or anything like that. We're talking about emotional addiction. And when you can attach yourself to a guy's ego, that becomes addicting in itself, because he now says, hey, me being with you makes me the man to everyone else. So if I want to look my best, I better get the woman that will make me look my best. Okay? And so this is what you have to understand, remember, right? You're not trying to change yourself, change who you are. You don't need to lie. I'm not telling you to be someone that you're not. But what I want you to be doing is to be cognizant of the concept and the way that perspective will change a man's approach to you. That way, when you go out on dates, you know how to present yourself in the light that puts you in line with the way that you want to be treated. You want a guy to be emotionally addicted to you. That's fine. You can definitely do that. But I also want to make you aware of how you will best present yourself to get that emotional addiction out of him. Because the reality of it is, you can have a crazy dump truck, but you're not going to have guys emotionally addicted to you if you're needy and desperate for attention. And anytime he doesn't talk to you for 5 minutes, you're back. Why can't you text me for 5 minutes? You're a police officer dealing with the drug operation, but I can't understand. Why can't you just handcuff them? And during the time that you're handcuffing them, why can't you text me? Right? You can't be like that. You're never going to get guys emotionally obsessed with you and attached to you that way. Unfortunately, as strange as it sounds, the way to get them attached to you and obsessed with you is by barely showing them interest, okay? Strategically, of course, you're going to show them interest at some point, but not so much that he starts to think he's getting everywhere with you, right? And he's the best thing since sliced bread, okay? Does that make sense, right? It's a balancing act, right? So it's not just all, it's not all pushing them away, and it's not all telling them no all the time, but there's a process to doing it strategically where you're doing it just enough that he feels like he can get somewhere if he really tries, but not that he's just going to have everything handed to him from the very beginning, okay? Does that make sense? Right, so anxiety creates attachment was number 1. Breaking the cycle, number 2. Having a clean house, number 3. Ego attachment, number 4. And number 5 is a simple one, but something that I just want you guys to take notice of is competition. Because very similar to the ego attachment, the ego attachment because of you being something of value, right? A woman of value, and all the other guys wanting you because you're a woman of value. There's always going to be competition for you because you have value and all the other guys want you. Not only is he crawling on glass trying to sniff your butthole, but all the other guys around you and in your life are also crawling on glass trying to breathe in your butthole air. That's fine. And it's actually great for guys to see that. Why? Because this is part of how they become emotionally addicted to you. See, they say to themselves, oh my God, all the other guys want her too. I know, I think she has a great dump truck and I think she's amazing, but I also know that all these other guys think she's amazing. I got a bigger schlong than that guy. I'm more charismatic than that guy. I'm a better man than that guy. I'm taller than that guy. I'm a big dog. He's a small pup. I'm getting that girl. I'm getting that girl. And I'm going to step on these other peasant men that won't have a chance with her. Now, let's just be so for real. I have to mention this because let's be so for real. As weird as it sounds, part of a man's attachment to you will be the fact that he can step on peasants that don't get access to you. Okay? I just want you to understand that. That way you're very aware of how to use this. Let's share a little secret here. Let's not tell this. This is our, our little bonus point here. Let's not talk to anyone about this one. Okay? We won't share this with anyone. Please don't share it with anyone else. I'm going to tell you a little secret here. See, if you can get smart at understanding that men like you for you, yes, but they also like you for how other guys like you as well, just as much, you can actually use that against them or for yourself, if however you want to think of it, and use it to your advantage to get men even more attached to you, knowing that they're going to be more interested in you if they know all of the other men want you as well. That's just this little secret. Let's not talk about this anymore after this, okay? Because they're straight still, but they do love to know that other guys want you too. They also love to know that they're doing the most to get you and all the other guys want you but don't have an opportunity with you, okay? Right? And there's something to be said for that you can go out on your dates and you can use that secret trick to your advantage to get guys even more invested in you, not just because they want to build a relationship with you and because you're amazing and your dump truck's big and your voluptuous cities and all that good stuff, but also because all the other guys want you too, and getting you, right, makes it seem like he's winning the competition, like he's beating out all those other men. And at the end of the day, whether we got video games, flying cars, spaceships, whatever we got, we're still cavemen underneath that, okay? We still beat our chest and we want to feel more powerful and stronger than the next man, okay? You can't take away, you can put the man in a spaceship, you can put him in a flying car, you can put him in a robot, you can put him anywhere. He's still going to have ego and be attached to his ego, okay? So at the end of the day, when you get really smart about getting guys emotionally addicted to you, you get smart about attaching yourself to his ego and understanding the ways that you, just getting access to you can be like an ego booster for him. So then when you present yourself to him, you want to present yourself in the way that makes you like an ego booster to him, that, oh, all the other guys want her and are in competition for her. If I can win out this competition, then I'm the man. You become like a prize to him. So how do you think he treats you? Like a prize. You guys hear that all the time. Okay, right? Tem says, don't dump truck, Lil Yeti's okay. Even for you petite girls, guys like petite girls too. A lot of you guys talk about, oh, I'm the prize, I'm the prize, I want to be the prize, I want to be the prize. You can be the prize, but then you also have to give off the perception of a prize, right? And you also have to be strategic about when you're presenting yourself and giving him a particular perspective on you that it's in line with the perspective of a prize. If he doesn't feel like there's competition for you, if he doesn't feel like, there's other men that want you, if he doesn't feel like, you're giving yourself princess treatment and you have high standards for yourself, then none of this is going to work properly. He's not going to treat you like a prize because he's not going to feel like there's a prize to be won here. He's going to feel like he's getting the bottom of the barrel, scraping the bottom of the barrel by being with you. Okay? Right? And we don't want that for you, because the reality of it is getting guys emotionally addicted to you is not about having a bigger dump truck. It's not about having bigger yitties, not about having the most, supermodel smile or anything like that, okay? Right? It's about being strategic about how you present yourself, understanding men's perspective, the things that they attach themselves to, like ego, the competition for you, right? And the things that they're used to, like the cycle and all that stuff of getting girls attached and pulling away, and they get chased now. Understanding how they think and how they operate so that you can get them the most emotionally invested in you as they possibly can, okay? So do you guys have any questions about what we just discussed here, okay? So anxiety creates attachment was number 1, breaking the cycle number 2, having a clean house number 3, ego attachment number 4, and the competition number 5, okay? Right? Does that make sense? Someone says, how can we make it known that other guys want us? Okay, that's a great question. Competition doesn't have to be something that you are so overtly obvious with, okay? One of the, I'm going to give you some toxic advice, and then I'm going to give you some less toxic advice. Do with that what you will. Choose whatever outcome you want to choose, okay? Okay, I'm going to give you both sides. I'll give you the toxic advice first because you probably want to hear that one. One of the things you can do when you're dating a guy, okay? We're in 2024 now. You're a beautiful girl. You've got a huge dump truck. Guys love you. Let's be so for real. Guys are going to hit you up on Instagram, on Facebook maybe, on Snapchat. Shh. This is toxic advice, so let's not repeat this one. What you can do when you're getting to know a guy after a couple of months, okay, there has to be some familiarity there. You can start showing him some of the messages of guys hitting you up, which we're not going to talk about this after I say it. Because when you show him the messages of the guys hitting you up and saying some crazy, strange stuff to you, let me take you out, you're so beautiful, any guy would be lucky to be with you. It's really a firsthand example of how much, other guys want you. Now, someone said cringe. You don't have to make this cringe. This can just be something that comes up in the flow of conversation, okay? Or something like, yo, I got this weird message today from this random guy. Or something where you're just sending him a screenshot of it and you're like, yo, this is crazy, right? See, you're thinking that it's cringe, but guys see that and they're not thinking, oh, she's trying so hard to show me that there's competition for her. He thinks to himself, bro, who's this guy? Yo, why do all these guys message you all this weird? Yo, and they start thinking, they start getting defensive or protective because they start thinking, yo, all these guys in my girls' DM show. I hope they know they ain't getting access to, so they could keep trying to DM. They ain't getting nothing though. So I hope, and they start thinking like, yo, what? I might have to post you. I might have to post you on my story, post you on this, just so all these goofy men don't think that, they're going to get access to you. Okay, right? I'm telling you, I know it sounds horrible. I know it sounds toxic. Okay, we're not going to talk about it because I told you it's toxic advice. But when you show them those messages, and especially when you're showing them that over and over again, it becomes pretty clear to them that, other guys want you. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean you have to respond to them or be messaging them back or anything like that. Just them messaging you, right, and reaching out to you and sliding in your DMs is enough. Okay, so it's not really cringe. You're showing, if this is the guy, that's why I said when you're familiar with this guy and you guys have been talking for a bit, this is not something unnatural to show him the messages that you've been getting. In fact, it makes him feel like he's on the inside, right? He's on the inside because obviously if you're showing him those messages of guys hitting you up, it's because you're probably not hitting up those guys, right? So he feels like he's on the inside, but he also gets that stinge of just like, oh, yeah, I guess other guys do want you. Well, it makes, yeah. Yeah. Because what is he going to say when guys message you? I mean, you're beautiful. So what is he supposed to say? Guys shouldn't message you as if they shouldn't realize you're beautiful. He knows you're beautiful, but now he gets the opportunity to see that other guys think you're beautiful too. Hurts the ego a little bit, but it's good for men to see, okay? So, and it's good for them to see that competition. Now, the non-toxic version of that would be like you going out to a party or an event and, in the process of you just meeting people and being out, of course, people are going to chit chat with you. Some people are going to talk to you. And so you can start to tell when you're talking to a guy that has a little bit of interest in you. And if you go to the same party as that guy, or if you're meeting him at that party or whatever, be strategic about having a conversation and don't be so worried about, oh, let me run back to my guy. Okay, maybe you have that conversation with him just long enough for your guy to come in, butt in and say, hey guys, just wanted to let you know I'm going to take Sarah off because we're going to go and have a conversation here. Yeah, John, okay? Yeah, me and Sarah. I'm going to take her. We're going to have a conversation, okay? And that can be a nice strategic way to get a guy just a little bit anxious where he's saying what this conversation's looking a little bit too smiley, looking a little bit too fun. Let me go ahead and step myself in. Because remember, when guys like you and they have interest in you and they recognize that you're a beautiful, attractive woman, they're also going to know that other guys think that. So they're thinking like a guy too. So when they see a guy laughing and giggling with you, they know it's not to twiddle their thumbs. But that the process of inducing that protective energy out of them, because they're like, bro, don't talk to my girl, or bro, I'm about to go grab my girl because I don't want people, flirting with her or whatever, right? Get him just a little bit jealous. It's good. It's good for the soul. Okay. A little bit. Too much of anything is bad. But a little bit of even things that you might feel like are bad can be good sometimes. And so jealousy is good in small doses where guys are capable of recognizing that, hey, it's not just like I'm with the girl that nobody wants. I'm with a girl that other people want. So I better stay on, my best behavior. I better continuously do the things necessary to be in a relationship with her, right? You don't want guys to get too comfortable to the point where they feel like they can do anything in the relationship. Not that you're never going to give him reassurance, and not that he should feel like you don't love him, but he definitely should feel like other guys definitely want to take his place. Not that they have an opportunity or a chance, but they definitely are waiting for their opportunity to take their place. It's just enough to light a fire under his butt that he continuously feels it's necessary to put his best foot forward in the relationship. Don't get scared of that, okay? Don't get scared of that for all of you thinking that, oh my God, Tomisin, that's super toxic. Why would I want to light a fire under my partner's butt to feel like, other guys are waiting for him to slip up? It's good. It's good. It's good. When men feel like other guys are waiting for him to slip up, what do you think he's not going to be doing? Slipping up. Because he knows how easy it will be to lose you to one of those other guys literally waiting for their opportunity. Okay. So just be smart about that and never let guys feel like you stopped being desirable or attractive to anyone else simply because he got into a relationship with you, especially if you want consistent princess treatment all the time. Because some of you guys ask me that all the time, right? How do I get princess treatment, or how do I keep it going while I'm in a relationship, right? You're not supposed to stop being desirable to him or other people just because you get into a relationship. Okay. So he should be able to recognize that as well. Thank you so much to Tams in our YouTube chat who donates $5. I really appreciate that. She just donated a little super sticker. I really appreciate that. And thank you to those of you in the TikTok chat who donated some coins as well. Okay. Right. Lala says, is it okay to do even if I'm in a relationship? I mean, think about the two things I said. Showing your boyfriend that you got messages and DMs from guys hitting you up, trying to get with you, fly you out, or talk to you. What's wrong with that? It's not like you're replying to them. That has nothing. That doesn't make you look bad at all. Yeah, it might make him a little jealous, make him irk him a bit, but that you're not doing anything wrong by showing him messages. In fact, you're being a great girlfriend by showing him the messages, okay? So there's nothing wrong with that. That actually would be my go-to if I were advising you in a relationship. And then vice versa, guys coming up to you and chit-chatting with you, once again, as long as you're not being overly flirty or touching him or doing anything inappropriate, guys being attracted to you and wanting to have conversation with you is a natural thing if you're an attractive, desirable woman. So that might bother him, but it's good that it bothers him. Keeps him on his toes, right? Does that make sense? Limo says, what if I'm not in a relationship with the guy? The two that I just offered you to do, I would advise you, especially the DM one, I would advise you to do that with someone you've actually built, some more rapport with, not someone it's the first date or anything like that. Okay. So I'm talking about like months into the relationship. Now, the second one, where it comes to guys coming up to you and chit chatting with you and stuff like that, honestly, that's something you can do at any point in the relationship because it's a little bit more innocent and abstract. And it's not really like anything you can necessarily control, right? But you do want to give guys the opportunity to be just a little bit jealous so they can recognize there's competition for you. It's nothing, hey, trust me, only the soy boys too shy to do anything will have a problem with competition. Trust me. Okay. And I didn't say that competition has to mean that you're actually sleeping with or talking to any of those guys. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay. I just mean the competition, that the fact that other guys also want you. All right. And there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, no, any of the grown, mature men understand out here, it's the survival of the fittest. If you can't take care of your girl, someone else will. All right. The grown, mature men understand that. The soy boys who can't do anything and they're in the corner shivering and nervous to talk to women, they can't fathom the idea that what am I supposed to do if other guys want my girl? Because I can't do anything. I don't have any resources. I can't be intentional. I can't do anything for my girl that I can actually get her. See, soy boys, you can't do nothing with them. They're in the corner, you leave them in the corner, and you let them wank off to you being with the big dog, okay? You don't allow soy boys to get access to you, and you definitely don't do the job for soy boys by being a boyfriend and girlfriend, thinking that, oh, I like the shy guy that can't even say words to me. So I'm gonna make a boyfriend out of the shy guy that can't even come up to me and ask me for my number. Because you know what you're gonna be doing for the rest of your relationship? You're gonna be taking that man out on dates, you're gonna be courting yourself, giving yourself princess treatment, and you're gonna be a boyfriend and a girlfriend at the same time. Okay, we don't want that for you. Okay, we don't. Okay. So Bree says, what's a soy boy? A soy boy is just like a shy boy, right? Soy boy is just like so scared, so nervous. You know the guys that are so nervous to come up to you that they'll be like, oh, I didn't come up to you because I didn't know if you'll like me or wanted to talk to me. And so you've come up to him being like, oh, I seen you've been looking at me this whole time. And he's like, oh, yeah, you know, I kind of thought you were cute. And he runs away. Like, you can't do nothing with those guys, okay? Because you can't build anything out of that, right? If you have to be the one to like, oh, do you want my number? Do you want to go out on a date with me? Do you want to spend time with, you can't, no. You're going to be with the big dog who can lay it down on you, treat you well, take you out, be intentional with you. You're not going to be with the soy boy that you got to pick him up off the floor to get him to do anything in your relationship and be no, okay. We're not doing that. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Now, with that being said, we're going to hop into our next segment of the day. Let me hop and get my my headphones where I'm going to be reacting to some really popular videos sent across the internet here. So we're going to hop into our next segment. We just call it Reacts. We don't really have a Reacts time, we'll call it, okay? And I react to videos and different TikTok videos around the internet that you guys have sent to me and you want my opinion on, okay? So we're going to start off here with, is it Magdalene? Or no. Margarita, okay? Margarita, all right? Let me grab my headphones and we're going to start off with reacting to Margarita's video, okay? Only take me a second here. Okay. Margarita. Let's see what Margarita got for us today. Okay. Margarita. This was sent to me. Oh, by the way, guys, if you guys ever want to send me a video to react to, you can either do it on by adding me or mentioning me on TikTok. I look through my mentions because a lot of you do it that way, or you can send it to me through our Tomisin Reacts in our Discord, okay? And I look through those as well. We mostly do TikTok videos just for now, just because it's quick and easy. But for now, just send me TikTok videos that you want me to react to, okay? So we'll start off with Margarita.
No, don't send him that long message. Don't do it. Don't tell him how he's hurt you. Don't tell him how he's done everything wrong. Don't tell him, because what happens when you tell him everything he's done wrong, like continuously tell him your emotions, what he hears is, I really like you, you mean a lot to me. I really like you, you mean a lot to me. I really like you, you mean a lot to me. That's what men want. They want your energy. You understand? You're the resource. They want your energy, baby. So when you are telling him everything he's done wrong for you, all he is hearing is that I mean a lot to you. I am investing my time speaking about you. You know when he changes? I'm really leaning in now. When you stop talking and you take your energy away. That's the only thing they understand. Because when you're talking, it doesn't matter if you're saying, you bastard, I hate you. Why did you do that? All he's seeing is she's investing her energy in me. As soon as you stop, he will change. While you're talking, he's not changing. No.
This is great. We need to collab because this is great. And I love this, all right? And I love everything that she says in this video because it's really true. And sometimes, and I know you guys don't mean to do this, when you get the idea that to get a guy to change, you should just plead with him and beg him 1,000 times and say it 1,000,000 times, and that's what's going to get him to actually like change or affect his mind. It's not. Okay, it's not. It's really not. It's actually going to make it harder for him to make an adjustment. Your life is actually not very hard. Okay, and I say that in the sense that when you're building with a guy and you see that he's not treating you in line with how you expect to be treated, you need to begin begging him to treat you this way or do this or do that. You just withdraw your energy, like Margarita just mentioned. When you withdraw your energy, it forces him to make one of two decisions. Either in order to get access to her again and receive, investment from her in this relationship again, I either fix or adjust myself, or if I'm not prepared to do that, I'm never going to get an opportunity with her. So it leaves guys with one of two decisions. And it's great because it actually gives you a lot of clarity. See, the men who actually are invested in you and want to build with you, they will not like the idea of just leaving this and never speaking to you again, or you pulling away from them. They're going to be like, whoa, she's pulled away from me. I feel like something is wrong. Let me come to her and, apologize and adjust my behavior. You ever watched your favorite teen drama and the guy or the teenage boy will be outside of the girl's house with a boombox and playing her favorite love song, apologizing to her for everything he's done, throwing rocks at her window, right? And she'll look out her window and he'll have a boombox out playing that song. Yeah, that happens when a guy says to himself, I have done wrong. I need to fix what I have done wrong, and I will do anything required of me to fix what I have done wrong. Okay? Guys are actually, that's within them. And so you can bring that out of them simply by withdrawing yourself from them. And a lot of times, this is the most amazing, awesome, perfect part about men. They're not stupid, okay? A little bit emotionally stunted. They're not idiots, though. So actually, when you give them the space to really think about what it is they might have done to you, most of the time, majority of the time, 99% of the time, if you held a gun to their head, they could tell you why you're upset. They could tell someone else why you're upset. And they could actually make the right guesstimation as to what they did to you and why you were upset about that thing. So I say that to say they're not dumb. So when you withdraw from them, you actually give them the space to realize why you're upset, come to their own realization that I actually don't want her to continue to be upset and I want to adjust my behavior and fix it. They will come to you already ready to fix it or adjust that behavior. And even if they still don't know what it is you're upset about, at the very least, they'll come to you prepared to put your relationship back to where it was in you having investment in him and not withdrawn from him. And so anything you say, he'll ask you, what do I need to do to fix this or to have it not so that you're not withdrawn from me anymore? As soon as you say, well, honestly, I just can't deal with a man who isn't intentional, he's going to say, perfect. Now I know what I need to fix. Don't say anymore. I'm not doing that anymore, right? And when he comes to you to apologize to you for what he's done or how he's treated you, and anything you say from there or any requirement you have, he will already be prepared to do, as opposed to you yelling and complaining and all that stuff, thinking that that's going to convince him to change, okay? So a great video by Margarita.
Somebody literally said this, and I can't stop thinking about it. But apparently there's this method that men use. Apparently they put in 100% into someone at the beginning. And you're like, this is the best guy in the world. Like, I love him. So good. He's putting in absolutely everything for me. Putting in 100%. Once you're comfortable and once they know that they've got you wrapped around their finger, they put in 95%, but you don't notice because that 5% that they decreased isn't much of a difference. It's not enough to be like, something's up. They put in 90% and you're still like, I don't know if I'd pick up on the 90%. They put in 90 and then I don't think you'd realize it. And then they put in 80 and you pick up on this. You're like, something seems off, but it's not enough to say anything yet. See how the number is going down so much from 100 to 80, right? Just keep listening. Then they put in like 70, 75 and you say something. You're like, is something wrong? Say something. I need to put this hand away. And you say something and you're like, is something wrong? Like, what's up? You seem different. You seem off. They're like, oh, no, nothing's off. So then they bump it up back to 75%. And you're grateful for this, put it away. And you're grateful for this 5% that they've increased. So you're like, great, he's putting in effort again. He's putting back in effort. He's come back. I can feel it. He's great. But to him, babe, he's just put in 5%. It's nothing. They keep lowering it. And like, it gets to like 50. And then you're like, what's wrong? Like, you're being different again. So then they bump it up to 55. But that extra 5% makes you feel like he's putting in effort. But to him, it's just 5% of his effort. And then they go all the way down, they do like 20, and then you're like, just give me anything, like give me some attention, give me something. They give you like 25% and you're like super happy with the 5% that they've given you. Does this make any sense? Anyway, the moral of this is that they can bump it all the way down to, they can put in like nothing by the end of it, and you would be so happy with 5%. Like, they know that it's like push-pull. They're like, they give you it, and then they take it away, and they give you a little bit more so you're happy, and then they take it away. But every time they take it away, they're taking like more and more and more. So by the end of it, you're like just grateful at the fact that he's giving you 5% of his effort, because it's better than nothing. Stay away from anyone who does that. Somebody...
Fivea? Okay, I guess that's her name. Fivea makes a very good point here. And I think that a lot of what she said, quite interesting. And there's a lot of truth to what she said. And I think that the best, because obviously she presented a problem, but I want to present to you a solution. The best way to solve this issue is to make sure that you take care of you first before you get into relationships. So figure out what you like, your hobbies, your passions, what you like spending your time doing. Make your life fulfilling without a guy in it. That way, when a guy comes into it, you have already existing criteria of how you expect to be treated by a guy, any guy, not just this guy and not just the guy you like, because sometimes your standard's lower if you like the guy. For any guy that you're going to be in a relationship with. Then, remember how she said 100%, 75, 55? You start to be able to say, my expectation is that I get treated like this at any point in my relationship. I am me with or without this guy, right? Remember, you have your passions, your hobbies, your interests, all that stuff. Your life is fulfilling without this guy. He comes into it, and if you start seeing that he's going 55, 45, 35, 20%, you say, oh, that's more than fine. I am still me, whether you give me your attention or not. So now that I see you're not prepared to be the partner that I expect and that already exists in my criteria before you even got into my life, I am not going to be with you. Okay. And I'm not going to sit around and hope for 5% more and be happy with that because I'm so desperate now for your attention and desperate to make this work. You see, when you're, as weird as it sounds, when you're already fulfilled and you're already taking care of yourself, you're actually willing to accept less. Okay. Because you don't need someone to be in your life just to stress you out and take you on a joyride. You either want to build with someone seriously or you don't, because you just don't have the capacity to have people in your life that are just going to drain you of energy. Okay. And so it's good to be in that way. It's good to be more cutthroat in that sense, because when you're willing to waste less time, guys come into your life, they also recognize that, and they either get the F out of there because they're just like, she's not going to waste her time with me, or guys eventually realize they're not going to get anywhere giving you absolutely nothing because you're not going to be begging for scraps. Either way, it's good for you because you can use your time more efficiently, and instead of investing that energy on begging a guy who's giving you 55% to give you 60%, you can invest that energy into you, and as soon as a guy tries to give you 55%, you just say, it's not gonna work for me. I'm cool. I'm out. Okay. Dovely says it's easy to do, hard when you get attached to this person. Of course, guys, you guys don't think that I'm not an AI. You know that, right? Like, I'm a real human being with emotions and feelings. So I know that when we talk about stuff in the Players Club about do this, do that, don't be so attached. You got to detachment and stuff like that. I know that it's not easy as we talk about it in the Players Club, and I know that you're not in love with me. So when we talk about it, it's like, yeah, we'll do it. But here's the thing. When you're obviously with the guy that you like, it's not that easy. But what you want to be doing is setting yourself up for success by having things going for yourself before you even meet the guy. Because the reality of it is, as long as you keep what you have for you going when you're in this relationship, it will always be easier to let go of people who aren't treating you how you expect to be treated. Now, if vice versa, you allow people to come into your life and you have nothing when they come into your life, it will always be harder to allow them to walk away from you, even if they're giving you less than the bare minimum. Okay? Let's go up to the next one.
The key to getting a guy to chase you is very simple. It is to remain unbothered. But I get a lot of questions from women. How do you actually act unbothered when you really like a guy? So here are 5 tangible ways to act unbothered, because I swear to God, you guys, this is like the secret sauce. The less you care about a guy.
Oh, did we do this one? I think we did this one yesterday. I think I did this one yesterday. Yeah. We'll go to the next one.
Can I describe how bad the regret is for a man that loses?
Or did I do that one yesterday or no? Sorry, I don't want to skip it because I've seen some of you guys say you like that one. Did I do that one yesterday? I want to make sure I did or I didn't. No? Okay, I'll go back to it. Let me go back to it. Sorry, guys.
The key to getting a guy to chase you is very simple. It is to remain unbothered. But I get a lot of questions from women. How do you actually act unbothered when you really like a guy? So here are 5 tangible ways to act unbothered, because I swear to God, you guys, this is like the secret sauce. The less you care about a guy, the more he cares about you. It's the way it always works. Number 1, text back sporadically. This literally makes somebody addicted to you because they never know when they're going to get that response back. So they're going to be waiting by their phone for your text back, because sometimes it comes quickly, sometimes it doesn't. And this isn't about playing games. This naturally happens when you have a well-rounded life. That's why the more you feel...
What did I just tell you guys? What did I just tell you guys to do? And what do I always preach to you guys all the time? Let's go on.
Fill up your own cup and you focus on yourself, the more he's going to chase after you. It's the way it always works. And not texting back frequently, not answering his calls all the time, not always being available to hang out with him, that's a natural byproduct of this. And I'm telling you, men love women like this.
It's part of the reason why I tell you guys, don't think of my advice is meant to be like, oh, be toxic by ignoring him over text. Be toxic by never picking up his calls. Be a toxic woman by doing this and doing that. Like, what I'm actually saying is have your life be filled with other things than just the boys. Because like she just mentioned, what will come from that is you honestly, truthfully to yourself, won't be available to him 24/7, which is amazing for the health of his desire for you, okay?
The busier you are, the more he wants to hammer in a spot into your life. Remember the psychology principle, cognitive dissonance. The more we have to work to obtain something, the higher we assume its value must be. That means you set the bar on your self-worth to a man, simply by how hard you make it for him to obtain you.
What do I be telling you guys, right? And this is the amazing part, because when you start to really understand what we're doing here, you'll realize that they all work together. So one theme works with another theme, and then you start to see how they all fit together to create his extreme desire for you, right? Because it's already going to be harder to get you if you don't text back every 5 minutes. It's going to be harder to get you if you're not available to hang out with him in, the next hour, and you're not like DoorDash delivered to him on Express every time he wants you, right? And all these things increase his value in his eyes, increase your value, in his eyes. And what does he do? He treats you subsequent to that value.
2, the okay noted method. You have to detach from seeing the actions of a man as a reflection of your self-worth. So if he doesn't text you back, he doesn't follow up after a date, okay noted. You remain indifferent to his actions. You see it for what it actually is, a reflection of his worth, not yours. In this way, it's so easy to act unbothered, because once you've detached, you let him prove himself to you. And if he doesn't meet the caliber that you set for treatment from men, bye. You don't beg him to act right. You don't sit there and wait for him to get it together. You move on to somebody else who does know how to treat you.
Real quick, that's why I say date one person at a time. Real easy to identify if the guy you're dating is not meeting your criteria, and you kiss him goodbye, because you just don't want to waste time on a guy who isn't treating you how you expect to be treated. You're more inclined to be okay with wasting time with that guy if you have him and 3 other guys, okay?
Which leads to point 3. You do not compete with anybody. Remember, when you compete with no one competes with you. You know your worth. It's up here, babe. And if he doesn't act right, then it's his loss, period. You prove yourself to no one. You are not seeking your identity through this man. You're not seeking validation through him. He's literally just like an added zest to the already full plate of your life. Are you picking up on the theme here? Or date multiple men. If you and this man are not exclusive, then you are free to entertain all the options on your table. Because here's the thing, if you're locked in on one man, you're gonna allow a lot more lenience in the way he treats you because there's no other options on the table. Your best strategy before you are exclusive with a man is to date several men, because then one, you'll get an idea what the actual dating pool is like for you. And two, you're going to be able to kick all the loser guys who aren't treating you well to the curb because you'll have men up here who are treating you well.
Okay. This is one of the things that I want to address to you guys with dating multiple men. Now, here's the thing. Dating multiple men can mean different things for different people. And it's not that I hate the idea of having options. That's not what I dislike. What I dislike about dating multiple men in theory is that I know for some of you, you're going to use that as an opportunity to keep men around that are not meeting your standards. So I'll say this. What's more important even than whether you date multiple men or date one man at a time, what's more important than that is to be very stingy with your time and your energy. Meaning, when you date a guy, do not allow yourself to stay in that relationship or that situationship or whatever, that talking stage, simply because you want to have him alongside with all these other guys that you're with at the same time. See, here's the problem. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes when you date multiple men, you say, I like something about guy number one, but I don't like this about him. But the thing that I don't like about guy number one, number two does well. But guy number two, I don't like this about him, but the thing that guy number two doesn't do, I like about guy number three. So you end up dating like 3 or 4 guys just to amount to one good guy that you actually want to be in a relationship with. But the reality of it is that's not sustainable, because if you don't figure out what is the most important, because the reality of it is you're not going to get 100% of anything, right? You're not going to get a guy that is absolutely perfect in every way, shape, and form, that there's nothing he says or does that you don't like. But you need to start getting good for yourself about being aware of what are the most important things for you, the things that you can't compromise on, and the things that are like soft importance, you know, things that you would like, but it's not a big deal if they're not there and you have to, like, you know, work with someone that doesn't have those qualities or character traits, right? And you have to start getting good with yourself at dating people and recognizing which one is in which category for you. The problem is if you don't first identify that, because it's possible to date multiple people well, but if you don't first identify that, you'll be really confused dating multiple people, because you'll start saying, I like guy number one, but he's not really what I want. But I like guy number two also, but he's not really what I want. And I like guy number three, he's not really what I want. But if I date all three, it'll basically be like getting the guy that I want. What's the point there? Because now you're not actually building a relationship with any guy that you would want to be with long term. And you're actually only making your life harder, because whichever guy you do end up choosing out of those 3, you know, guys that aren't really what you're looking for, you will still be unhappy in that relationship with that one guy. Okay. And so you'll constantly feel like you need to date multiple men just to feel like you're dating the right guy. That's not, we don't want that for you. Okay.
But when you only have one man, you'll deal with whatever treatment he gives you because there's no other options on the table. You guys have to get over this nice girl complex where you feel guilty for dating multiple men at one time. Believe me, I live in New York City. Men do not feel slightly bad about entertaining so many women at one time. In fact,
I want you to date multiple men, all of you, and I'll say this just to make it clear. I want you guys to all date multiple men when you get good at being able to analyze guys' treatment of you and know when to cut guys off. When you're good at that, then date multiple men, because then you're less inclined to waste time.
They feel good about it. So get over this complex, you guys. Prioritize yourself. 5, the last thing is to surrender. When you want to control every situation and the outcome of it, that's masculine energy, and it literally repels men. It's this guy or somebody better. You have to remember that's the options that are on the table for you. If it doesn't work out with this guy you like, then it's his loss, all right? Wish him well, send him condolences, but do not sit there and beg him to love you back. You always win. That's the unbothered mantra. If this guy doesn't treat you right, another guy will. Remember that. If you found these tips helpful, schedule a one-on-one with me via the link in my bio.
These are great. These are great. Her name is X Lover Girl Carissa. For those of you wondering what the TikToker's name is, you got go on my YouTube, because I'm live on YouTube at the same time as TikTok, and you'll be able to see the creator's name, because I just have no place to put it on TikTok. But yeah, like I said, if you guys want to date multiple men, I'm not even against that. I won't even say that it's wrong. All I want you to do is to make sure that when you date multiple men, that you're very aware of what you're looking for. That way, when you date those multiple men, you're quickly able to analyze, okay, this is not what I'm looking for. You're done here, okay? So you can keep your roster of however many, but we better make sure that the guys that you have on your roster are actually what you're looking for. And as soon as they show themselves to be not what you're looking for, they don't get a spot on your roster, okay? So I know some people say, oh, date this guy so you have a bronze, a gold medalist, and a this medalist. No. If you're dating a roster, they all better be gold medalists. And if they show themselves to not be a gold medalist, then they get dropped out of the running, right? You're not dating guys that aren't what you're looking for or don't live up to your standard just to have more. You're dating guys that are actually what you're looking for, and until they show themselves to not be, then they get, let off the podium or whatever, however you want to say it, okay? Just make sure, right? You got to be able to know how to differentiate. Don't be wasting time here, right? Don't want to waste your time.
Can I describe how bad the regret is for a man that loses a great woman? One that would do pretty much anything and everything that he could possibly ever want. And here's the thing about regret, right? These guys really don't show regret. It's much like every other emotion outside of anger. They just choose to suppress it. And what they'll do is, more often than not, if they are chasing after another woman, or if they've been talking to another woman, they lost you because they were doing something they weren't supposed to do. They'll suppress all of this, right? They have tunnel vision, and that's pun intended, on these new women, on whoever it is that he is actively involved with, right? But it's not until he finds himself alone, whenever these women figure out who and what he is, or they're all done with him for other options, when that man circles back around, that's when you may see a little bit of regret. And even then, a lot of the times, enough time has passed that he really doesn't feel regret. He kind of just feels like he can slip right back in there and occupy his time with you and maybe feed you enough lines to where you will believe that he is actually sorry or that he's changed. Now, when the man is not with you, okay, and he's out actively pursuing all these other women, this is what you got to understand. These men are not out here changing their mindsets, right? If he's gone for 3 months and he's out chasing Betty Lou Who over here, he is not trying to work on anything that he is going to promise you when he comes back. Hey, I've been out. I'm really a changed person. He hasn't changed anything. I'm just going to be honest with you. Can I describe how bad the regret is?
So to this, I'll say, to Delta Pride here, I'll say yes and no. I think that depending on the man, some men, they lose out on a quote unquote great woman, and they, in the process of having new relationships, they realize some of the things that, I'll say this. Part of maturing as a man is realizing that even in relationships with people, you're never going to be able to create someone from scratch that you think is absolutely perfect. And ironically, this is actually the funniest part. You realize when you get mature, you realize that even the things you don't like about someone can subsequently be actually the same reason simultaneously that you do like someone. It sounds really weird. Those of you who are on the older side, you know what I'm talking about, because the same quality that makes someone, really strict with you, or, really get really triggered really easily because they have so many boundaries that you can't cross, might be the same thing that makes them really protective, or you feel safe around them, or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? And so you can have the same character trait or personality trait be the reasons that you don't like some things about them, and the reasons you do like some things about them, as weird as that sounds. But I say that to say maturing is realizing that, like, you're never going to get 100% of everything you feel is absolutely perfect in a person. And the irony of it is that even if you were to get that 100%, you probably wouldn't even like that, because you might know what you like, but you don't always necessarily know what you need, right? And so sometimes you meet people that you need the type of person that they are because of the type of person that you are, even though you might say, well, I want this and I want that and I want this. And so I just say that to say some men grow and they realize that after meeting the woman that they should have been with or should have taken seriously, and so then they regret that experience, or having come to that realization, they wish they would have come to that realization earlier. Now, like Delta Pride mentioned, some of those guys, they're not living like that. They're to be honest with you, I'll be super straight with you. Probably majority of guys, they're not even thinking about their lives deep enough to actually, feel like live with purpose and direction. They just go with the flow, go with what other people tell them to do, go with the crowd, and so they're basically sheep. I would just be so for real. So I just say that to say, when we're talking about regret, it's not that they don't have it, but they, like Delta said, they suppress it just by moving on to a new girl. And it's not until they go through a midlife crisis that they realize that they're unhappy, unfortunately, okay? That's why a lot of men go through midlife crisis, because they're not really processing their emotions or feeling them or expressing them. They're just suppressing them until they get to, 50, and they're like, oh my God, I'm closer to dying than I am to living. And then they start feeling like they got to do things to make themselves truthfully happy and, rekindle a bunch of, stuff. It's very weird, very strange, okay? But yeah, there's a little bit of truth to what Delta said.
How to innocently seduce him, part 8. So this one is actually gonna get me in trouble.
Why does she look like a child actor that I've seen before?
So you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so this one is for anybody who likes boys. Okay, so the next time you with your boo or your crush or your boyfriend or whatever, okay? I need you to be standing right in front of him. Like, y'all are having a conversation, he's standing right in front of you, okay? And I also need you to have something in your hand. I don't care if it's your phone, your chapstick, whatever, okay? Something needs to be in your hand. And then what I need you to do is drop it right in front of him. Like, while you're talking or while he's talking, play around with it and then drop it. And when you drop it, I need you to bend down. And when you bend down, grab his thigh, like to support you, like as if you need support to like get down because you went down too fast. And then when you grab the thing you dropped, look up at him first and then be like, sorry. And then slowly get up looking at him.
Okay. Oh my God. You know what? I get it. Y'all are girls, so you guys like the Wattpad fantasy and things like that. My advice to you, just don't do this, okay? Don't do it.
When I tell you, he gonna be like, ooh, ooh. Baby, yo, you're welcome. I know. Part 9?
Don't do this, okay? I'm gonna be mature about this. I'm not gonna make fun of her. I'm not gonna, go crazy here. Don't do this, okay? What she's talking about sounds good in a Wattpad story. Really and truthfully, if you do this with a guy you just met, like on a, like you met him at the club or the bar or something like that, or at an event, and you do this, you're gonna look so thirsty, you won't even believe. Just don't do that, okay? Yeah, that's tension, that's flirting, but like that's something you do. Like do that with a guy you already have a rapport with. That like that can just be something to add some little spice to it, because it's just too upfront. I know she said how to innocently seduce him, but it's too much. It's too Wattpad-y. It's too, smut bookish. That real people in real life don't do stuff like that, okay? And it's just, there's way more subtle ways to keep, make a guy feel like you're a little bit interested in him that just not from a Wattpad story, okay? Please don't do that, okay? I know she's trying to do, she probably read a couple of good books, and so she's all, horned up. So, but yeah, I'm telling you from a guy's perspective, don't do that, okay? You want to be taken seriously here. This isn't a Wattpad story, okay? But hey, I know she's trying.
Let's talk flirting skills, because flirting skills is not for the weak.
Why does this video look like that? No diss. Why does the video look like that? Like she shot it on like a iPhone 2.
Because the most powerful thing about
it's probably Android, right?
Flirting with a guy.
This is how the Samsung Galaxy 27 looks, or whatever you guys are on. Is this how that looks? Sad. I feel sad for you.
Is your eyes. You need to understand that if you're strongly in your feminine energy, you
Team Android, right?
will be able to look at a guy, because feminine energy, like law of attraction, is a very passively magnetic, highly alluring energy. that when you look at a guy, he
Someone said Motorola.
can't resist. It takes nothing to walk up to a guy knowing he wants your vagina and talk to him.
Okay,
introduce
wait. This was sent to me, so I don't know what's in the context of this video. Guys, like what?
yourself. It takes nothing, and you do shoot yourself in the foot. But if you see someone you're fiercely attracted to, and you look at him for a good 5 seconds, which is long for someone you're very attracted to, it's like this long. That's long.
What is
okay?
what is happening?
That
What is happening?
takes balls,
What is,
like invisible
what
balls.
is happening? I thought the video froze. What a wait. Why did someone send me this? What is happening here? Okay, wait. Okay. I thought the video froze. I'm like, what is going on? Okay. Team Android. All right. I need to see that again. This creator is called I Love Heyoki. Okay, Hoyoka, sorry.
Attracted to, it's like this long. That's long, okay? That takes balls, like invisible balls. Because you need to understand, when you're staring at him naked like this and smiling, it shows him everything you're capable of. Not to mention, guys would kill to know what you're thinking. One time I was driving with the guy and I just tried this experiment and I just looked at him. I just looked at him while he was driving. And at the end of the drive and at the end of the day, he just said to me, you know, I would do anything to know what you were thinking when you were looking at me. Wasn't thinking anything, just doing a fucking experiment. But that's how powerful it is, okay? Just so you know, guys need to see your worth in your eyes because you're that strong to bring him over. Next thing is a compliment, a sincere compliment, because guys are fucking starving of compliments.
You know, I know that people that say this mean well. I feel like a lot of your riz, riz is what the kids say nowadays, right? A lot of your riz, your aura as a woman, just takes with a grain of salt. I feel like it's way stronger and more seductive when you don't say things. So there's actually ways to compliment him without actually like complimenting him, if that makes any sense. And I feel like those ways of seduction are she just said silence, right? I'm not sure why she's saying silence and then saying compliment him, but I just feel like you can actually do that through nonverbal communication. And I think it's way more powerful that way.
They need to be recognized for anything about them that you find outstanding or cute or adorable. They're so hungry for it. It's like a little star.
Okay, I'll give you guys an example of what I mean by compliment without words. You can actually compliment someone just by making them feel interesting, because not a lot of people feel interesting or feel like other people are invested in their lives. So when he's talking to you, you can actually compliment him by showing him that you're attentive and locked in on what he's saying. Right? It's that eye contact she's talking about. If you're having that in a conversation and you're not looking here and looking there and you're paying attention and your body language is leaned in, you're actually subconsciously communicating to him that you're interesting to me. And that's actually a compliment in itself, because he's used to, what do you think? He's going to work, his boss ain't looking at him, talking over here. He's got his coworkers not paying attention to him. How many times in a day do you think a man has a conversation with anyone and they're leaned forward, smiling, looking directly into their eyes, paying attention to every word, repeating it back to them, and asking them questions about it? Probably never, okay? So I say that in itself can be a compliment, and that's nonverbal.
Right on their heart. Each time you tell them something, it's big, it's huge. The other thing is authentic interest. Now, if you're going on a date as like a mercy mission because your mom said the guy really likes you need to go, or your friends are pushing you, because like, give him a chance. You know, he needs to he'll grow on you. Yeah, he'll grow on me. Like what, a fungus disease? Like, what do you mean he'll grow on me, right? So when you're interested, you'll lean in, you'll tilt your head, You'll play with your hair. You'll touch him like really lightly, and that will wake up every impulses in his body because he is being a focus, and that does a lot. You know, it's like when you focus on his dick, expands, does a lot. Same thing. He's like a giant dick right there. And don't overly talk. Let's talk.
I mean, yeah. But so the only thing, sorry, she throws me for a loop. I'm not really like knowing what to expect from her. But yeah, when you're talking to a guy, the compliment is showing that you're actually invested and interested in the conversation that's being had. I don't think that you need to throw out compliments verbally, especially at the very beginning. I just don't think that it's really that necessary. Obviously, if he's talking to you, you're smiling, you're entertaining it, you seem interested. That is confirmation that you like him and think he's cute enough at least to talk to. So the other stuff that you do to kind of like show him that you're interested can just be nonverbal, and that subtlety is all you need for guys who like are there. Like, if a guy is too socially awkward to take in the nonverbal cues, honestly, probably not your guy, okay? I get it. Everyone's a little bit different. Not everyone's going to be super charismatic and stuff like that. But remember, like, we're trying to get you with a big dog. I'm sorry, but on the Players Club, what I'm teaching you, there's just no room for you to be with shy soy boys. I'm sorry to tell you, okay? So for those of you that like shy soy boys, that you got to teach them everything, you got to hold their fork for them, you got to pat them on the head, and you got to burp them after they slurp on your titty. I'm sorry, I can't give you advice to get those guys, because it's going to be very difficult for you, okay? We don't want that for you. We want you with a big dog. But other than that, I think a lot of what she said is good, aside from the verbal compliments. And I think eye contact and all that other stuff is great seduction in silence. That Samsung Galaxy, someone said Motorola. Yeah, I think maybe she shot that on a Motorola. I don't know what's going on
Give
there.
your man permission to cheat if you think he's cheating.
Wait.
Why? I know this sounds...
Wait, what? Sorry, I didn't watch this, so I didn't know. I think maybe I didn't hear that right. Let me see. Let me hear this. Let me hear this again.
Permission to cheat if you think he's... Give your man permission to cheat if you think he's cheating. Why? I know this gonna sound crazy to y'all at first, but listen. If you think your man is cheating, but he hasn't admitted it, and you don't have any evidence, but you just think he's cheating, and you kind of know it because it's too obvious, and if you do have proof, even better. If you want to keep your man and you want him to stop cheating on you, and you already decided you're going to take him back. I mean, a lot of people are married and tired financially. Sometimes they're the child's father and they don't want to break up the family. Whatever your reason is for wanting to stay with this man even though he's cheating on you, I'm going to tell you how to do it. Give him permission to cheat. If you've been on his back about, oh, I know you're cheating on me and blah, 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 and all of a sudden you say, hey, you know what? Go ahead and cheat. You can have a girlfriend. Don't worry about me. So you're going to be getting all your sex from your girlfriend. Make sure you go to her house after work for dinner. Your sexual privileges are cut off with me, so I do give you permission to cheat now. You do that, he's going to stop real quick. And he's going to be like, cut her off quick. One, because when a woman is crazy enough to allow her man to cheat after being crazy about him cheating, this is a red flag for him. He's like, oh my God, she's serious. She's getting ready to go cheat as well and replace me probably with a better man. And she's just allowing me to cheat so I don't have to come to her for sex, because now she's going to start looking for some other man. She's probably going to start sleeping with some other man and want to sleep with me and him at the same time. And oh my gosh, what have I done? So then he's gonna straighten up. He's gonna be like, okay, well, I'm not cheating. And you're gonna say, well, I already know you're cheating. I feel like you're cheating, so you might as well go cheat. I feel like you're playing me for a fool, so I'm just going to go ahead and give you the permission to go cheat. Do what you want. Do what you want, because you know why? I want you to be happy. So when he hears this, he's like, oh shoot, she's gonna break up with me. She's gonna leave me. She probably already got my replacement. And what if he's better than me? What if he's a better man than me? What if he has more money than me? What if his penis is bigger than mine? What if he's gonna start thinking about all of this. So he's not gonna cheat no more. He's gonna cut that off quick. Give your man permission to cheat.
Okay. Let's have a bit of a discussion here. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a dose of reality. I know Cher's trying to give some advice to those of you who are in a situation that is like, you just have no way out of. So I'm not gonna pretend like I don't understand why she's saying the thing that she's saying or what she was trying to say, because I do understand what she's trying to say. Here's the thing, though, and maybe this just our difference in opinions here just stem from us wanting different things for you. I can't speak to what Shira wants for you. What I want for you, if you guys are listening to me, I want for you to become really good when we talk about the Players Club, in understanding the mind of a man, how he thinks, how he responds, how he reacts, how he analyzes and takes in information. That way, with that knowledge and understanding, you can take that and quickly be able to decipher and decode a man's actions, how he's treating you, what he wants, and what he's really thinking and feeling. When you are able to decipher and decode that, you will become very good at not wasting your time on men who your relationship with them is going nowhere. And so I say all that to say, because I want that for you, I also want you to get very good at being stingy with your time. Because in the process of you building and finding a great relationship, I want you to be so stingy with your time that if someone's not willing to meet you in your standards and expectations, that you don't waste your time on that guy. And so I say that to say, if you find yourself with a baby daddy or a marriage or a boyfriend or a situationship with a guy that is doing things that you don't like, in this specific case, like cheating, I just can't advise you to use a tactic like letting him cheat to get him to stop cheating, because the reality of it is, one, that man's not going to respect you. Okay. Like, we can spin it any way, shape, or form, but you telling him he's allowed to cheat is not going to make him come back and say, well, that's the woman I respect. Okay. So that's even that's beside the point. And then number two, what I want for you is for you to stand up for you. Standing up for you is not telling your man that he can cheat so that he'll reverse psychology, stop cheating. Standing up for you is saying, I deserve better, and actually believing that, and not just standing by men that will choose to treat you however they want to treat you. Because if you're at the point, like Shira said, where you feel it, like you know your man is cheating, and it's becoming a little bit more bold and brazen, and he's just starting to not care, I would never advise you to use tactics to stay in that relationship, because I feel at the end of the day, your mental health is only going to suffer because of that. Like, think about it. You're using so much time and energy to figure out how to use reverse psychology on a man to get him to stop cheating, when you should just cut him off or end that relationship. That way you can invest energy back into yourself. Because what's really the point? What's really the point? Is the point of living your life not for your happiness? I don't know. Maybe, honestly, you know what? Maybe I'm an idiot. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I just don't get it. I really don't get what Shira was saying in this clip. It's fine that we disagree on stuff, but I just don't understand. I don't understand the purpose of how that's actually supposed to benefit you. You understand what I'm saying? Because even if that guy stops cheating, it's not like he's going to come back into a relationship with you and your relationship is going to be better because you said that he can cheat and maybe he stopped cheating for a bit now. So if your relationship's not better after doing this whole rigmarole, what's the actual point? I don't know. I think I'm just dumb. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I have compiled a list of my top flirting techniques. All of my friends know I'm like the most insane flirter. I've harnessed this skill over the years. I read Art of Seduction even. So I just this is a good list, guys. Like, I hope this helps some people out there.
I read that book too.
Number one, and this will probably seem so obvious, but you'd be shocked at the amount of men, like my guy friends and the men I've dated, who said that women aren't good at this. It's eye contact. And it feels so obvious, but I think a lot of times with more high value men, it can be a little intimidating. Like, I totally understand that, especially if they're like very successful or they're really hot and sexy, whatever. But a lot of them have made comments to me that women will not make direct eye contact or they won't hold it very long. I am telling you, harness this skill. Like, search internally and do not look away. And I swear to God, like, multiple men, even exes of mine, have come back and been like, the eye contact, Carissa. It's like catnip to men. I don't understand it, too.
I be telling you guys all the time, you want to get good at flirting with guys, even the ones that you don't know. become an eye contact pro. And what I mean by that is get good at understanding how to give good sustained eye contact, even to people that might be a little bit new to you. Now, obviously, you're not going to stand in the middle of a club and just stare blankly at some random guy. But I mean, like in the process of conversation, like I said before, you'll be surprised how little men ever feel like someone is paying real, honest attention to them and listening to what they're saying. And that direct eye contact, as weird as it sounds, majority of men are never getting in their everyday life. So when they receive that from you, even just once or twice, you're so much more memorable in his eyes because most people aren't doing that. We're so used to also, it's hard as well, because when you're talking to someone in a party setting or a club setting or a bar setting, there's a whole bunch of lights and stimulus going on around the person. So it's natural for your eyes to wander at all the different things that are going on. But when you can become really good at like just keeping that eye contact, I'm talking about when you're talking and when they're talking, it really, really makes you stand out in someone's mind.
Is saying their name often. The quote by a famous poet, I don't know who off the top of my head, but basically it's the sweetest sound to anybody in any language is their own name. Don't be weird about it, but just infuse it in. Be like, oh, Jacob, I love how you da-da-da-da-da. Oh, Carissa, it's so sweet when you da-da-da-da-da. Just say it over and over again. And I notice it in my own life when like men text me and they'll say my name repeatedly. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know. It's weird, but it works.
Yeah, it does work. This is a psychology thing. There's a book that I read. I read a lot of books, guys. I nerd. There's a book that I read. It's called How to Influence People and Win Friends, or something like that. How to Win Friends and Influence People, something along those lines. And it talks about this. So yeah, there's a psychology to it as human beings. It's not just like a man or a girl thing. But yes, part of the reason why people like say my name during, when they're intimate. Why do you think it is, right? People love it. Turns them on, gets them horned up.
3 is casual arm touches. So whenever I'm talking to a guy, whether we're dating or whether we just met, I'll make an effort to just touch his arm.
Yeah, sorry. For those of you wondering, the book is called How to Make Friends and Influence People. Thank you, Kenazelle. Yeah, thank you. How to Make Friends and Influence People. That's the book that I read.
Casually, or like grab his elbow and be like, I'm gonna go to the restroom, or like just making physical contact. Because men, I'm telling you, like 9 out of 10 men describe their love language as physical touch. It's just like, it's so common. And I think more men are nervous to like hold your hand than you really realize. So when you as a woman are making that physical contact, men respond really favorably to it. And also it just comes across as like very warm. Like even people I've worked with, like coworkers who will like, kind of touch my arm. It comes off very like open and kind and good vibes.
Yeah. I think that one's maybe for those of you who aren't flirt masters or unfamiliar with that one. But yeah, there's a lot of romantic touches that you can do on someone when you're talking to them. The elbow one is a very good one. So like, I'll give you an example. If a guy's telling a joke, some guys might not be funny. We'll pretend that he's funny. And when he's telling a joke, you laugh, and then you go and you touch his like elbow and his arm area here when you laugh at the joke, right? That's a really good one to do, okay? Just, slight touching, not the stuff that girl earlier was talking about. Bend down, grab his thigh, look up, don't do any of that, okay? I'm talking about the real subtle stuff, okay? Laugh at the joke and you touch his arm when you laugh at the joke. That's subtle enough.
Number 4, and I'm sure the men who feel the need to comment on all my videos, whether I'm right or wrong all the time, can advocate for the accuracy of this one. Not that anybody asked. Number 4 is giving him compliments. I think a lot of times as women, we don't want to come off as too like adoring almost, or we're just trying to protect ourselves, which I think is totally fair. Women as a collective have experienced immense trauma, so any effort to protect ourselves is so warranted. But a lot of my guy friends make comments to me like about women specifically who compliment them and just make them feel really good, and it's coming from a place of women wanting to protect themselves or not wanting to come off as too much. But I think from a man's point of view, it always feels good to be appreciated. It always feels good. And it is, unfortunately, is very rare for women to just be forthcoming of their feelings of admiration for a man.
I know what this is ex-lover girl Carissa. I know what she's trying to say, and I know what her intention is with saying this. I have to add the context for you. This is not something you do with every man that you meet right from the jump, okay? You cannot be spilling your admiration for a guy that you just met. He will not take you seriously. When you do show a guy appreciation, because there is a point where you should be doing that, but that should come when he's actually earned that, and that should be like as a positive feedback loop that when he does things that you want him to continue doing, you show him a lot of appreciation for it. Now, him asking you out on one date, that's nothing. You're not going to show your admiration for him taking you out on one date as if it's the best thing since sliced bread. I'm talking about down the line as the relationship is going and he's showing you a lot of stuff that you want to continue and you're liking how this is going. That's when you show appreciation for him and you can compliment him and things like that. Not on strangers that you're meeting, going on a couple dates with or anything like that. And also, like I always tell you guys, the best type of compliment you can give a guy is not, I like your shirt. It's not, I like your hair. It's not, oh, you got a nice six pack. It's to make him feel like you're interested and invested in what he has to say. I know it sounds, oh my God, what? I'm just supposed to sit there and listen and that's what I trust me. Like she just said, I'm telling you from a man's perspective, what men feel the least of is to actually feel seen or heard or cared about. So when someone is looking at me directly, having eye contact with me and looking like they're actually paying attention to what I have to say, and they care on top of that about what I have to say, that is invaluable. That is a feeling that can't escape a man no matter where he goes, right? So remember, people don't always remember what you say, but they definitely remember how you make them feel. And so when they're talking to you and they're seeing how invested you are in this conversation and how much you're enjoying this conversation and paying attention, that is a feeling that you can't forget, okay? And so that's why eye contact can be so powerful in itself, right? Because you can't forget the feeling of feeling like someone's actually like there with you, present with you, paying attention to you. But you can forget the compliment of you have a nice shirt, okay?
Number 5.
Someone said, what's her TikTok? It's you just go on my YouTube page and watch the video. TikTok is tagged there.
Is whispering in their ear. And don't be like weird about this, but I'll do it like if I'm at dinner or something, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And like, just like some kind of reason to like whisper closely in their ear because I don't know, something in the male brain, when he hears like a raspy voice, he's like, oh my God, it's so sexy. What? Or if you're like at a bar and you're ordering a drink, you could be like, I'll take a rum and Coke. Or, I don't drink.
Wait, okay. I don't know. Okay. She was giving some good advice. I don't know about like what? Like, what was that? Was that Siri? Oh my God, that scared me. Siri, stop. Siri, stop. What the hell? That was so weird. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I don't know about the whisper rum and Coke thing. I don't know. I want a rum and Coke, pineapple vodka. Like you're in the club, people would be like, "What? I want a rum and Coke." What are you trying to order? Tell me what you're ordering. There's 10 people here. I want a pineapple vodka. Like I don't know. I don't know the validity to that one. I don't know.
Whatever. Any kind of reason to just kind of like infuse it throughout the situation. Or you can even be like in a flirty way, like, I have a secret. I hate kiwis. I don't know, whatever. Like some kind of cute, playful way to infuse whispering in his ear. It's like you're making physical contact, you're getting closer, right? And it's also like, it's just sexy. I don't know, I can't.
Okay, yeah. The example of maybe doing it like in the car when it's just you two or it's quiet, that makes more sense. She said, I know she was just kind of riffing. It's okay, but that was like rum and Coke in the what? Like why would you order to the waiter? Why would you whisper to I want a rum and Coke? The waiter's gonna be like, what are you saying? I have 30 orders to do. I can't play this game with you. Okay, like
describe it. 6 is winks. I use winks a lot. It's just really playful and it's like easy to infuse in a situation. I swear it's like catnip to men. I do it all the time. Like if a man is like, how old are you? I'll be like, 21. Because I'm so clearly not 21. And in the same vein, I'll a lot of times use intentional pausing. I think this goes kind of hand in hand with my first point of eye contact. But intentional pausing, I think it kind of like puts men off kilter and they just like don't even know how to act. Obviously you have to use it sparingly, but like if a man asks you a question and you're thinking, or like, you know, to try to get like some kind of chemistry and like attraction between you, I'll literally like stare and I'll like smile or something to just like build the tension of the moment. Example of this could be if you meet at a bar and he's like, oh, I have friends at this other bar, do you want to go? I'd be like, okay. It just builds tension and then
Okay.
reward, and it's releasing dopamine in his male brain. I have compiled a list.
Okay. I'll say this. Some of what she was discussing was not, it's possible, but it's only possible if you're meeting guys outside of club or bars or restaurants. Because if there's loud music, can't do the whisper thing. Not really. Not in a way that's actually sexy, just in a way that's more awkward. And she was saying something about
kind of like puts men off kilter and they just like don't even know how to act. Obviously you have to use it sparingly, but like if a man asks it, and it's also like, it's just sexier. It's like you're making physical contact, you're getting closer, right? And it's also like, it's just the first point, some kind of chemistry and like attraction between you.
Yeah, some of the stuff she was saying, someone said you can't just throw around rings. Yeah, like just keep in mind, what she is saying is flirting, but some of them have very specific use cases. I don't want you going out to random bars and clubs and winking at all the guys and whispering in all of their ears. It's just not going to hit the same, okay? Some of these you throw in your bag of tricks in the process of conversation as you're building with guys. I wish I could give you guys like a, you know, like an actual like use case, like real world lesson of how to like use different flirting toolkits in your toolbox at a particular time, because not all of these will be appropriate at the appropriate time. I just know that some of you are like need step-by-step information. Some of you, not all of you. So when she says wink, some of you are thinking, oh my God, should I be going to the club and winking at everyone? No. Okay. We want not do that. And for some of you, you guys are like Tomisin. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I think that winking, whispering can be good sparingly and used in particular use cases, definitely. But I think the easiest one for all of you guys to imagine and utilize in your toolbox is eye contact. And then also the lean in of like, oh, I'm really listening to this conversation. Okay. But definitely some things that you can add there. Whispering, ordering your drink, though, I don't think that's one of them. Actually, let's hop into our, because I don't want to go too over here. Let's hop right into our next segment. You should know what that segment is. Okay? Because it's time. I want you to spam in the chat for me what time it is, because we're going to have a lot of fun today. Okay? We've been having a lot of fun, but we're going to have even more fun, okay? Tell me in the chat, do you know what time it is? I want to know what time it is. For those of you who are confused or you're new, you're probably talking about 12 p.m. It's 5 in my area. It's 3:55. It's 4 a.m. You're confused, okay? Okay, because when I ask you what time it is, you're not supposed to be looking at the clock. You're not supposed to be looking at your watch. You're not supposed to be looking at your phone. You're not supposed to be looking anywhere in your home. Why? Because it's a special time, a very amazing time. You'll laugh and you'll cry. I'm going to let you know if you don't know. Oh my God, there's a spider on the roof. Discord time! There actually is a spider on the roof, though. If that falls, it's gonna fall directly on my head. All right, let's go on to direct onto our Discord time here. Hopefully the spider doesn't fall on my head. That'll be very embarrassing for me. For those of you who are confused, Discord time is essentially where all the amazing members of the Players Club get an opportunity to ask me a question about their relationship or situationship live on the show. And sorry, this is throwing me off. If and I answer it live on the show. Now, there's multiple options to send in your question. You can send it into our free relationship advice section, which is right here, and I will answer your question. Or simply what you have to do is send in your question. You just submit it by going into my TikTok, link in my bio. You submit your question, or you go into the Discord first and then you submit your question. You see the example post there. Or you go into the link in the description, you go into our Discord there, and you submit your question in our free section. Now, I warn you, in the free section, it is first come, first serve. So there's other questions I have to answer, which is about 100. And so I have to go back to the oldest questions first before I get to yours. So it'll probably take me a few weeks. As you can see here, our oldest question in here is 29, 28 days old. So it takes me a while to get to the free questions. Now, if you're impatient, you have another option to submit your question through the same link in my bio on TikTok or on the link in the description on YouTube. You can submit a premium relationship advice question, which is the same thing, except it's like a VIP pass at a theme park where you get the opportunity to skip the line of the free questions, and I answer your question first before I go into the free questions. Now, to access this, all you got to do, same link in bio on TikTok or link in description on YouTube, and you click where it says premium relationship advice. You have to donate to the show, and when you donate to the show, you put in the title of your message and your Discord username. That way I get a notification on my phone and I'm able to confirm that that's you and your question. That way we keep it fair for everyone. That way people aren't not donating to the show and then getting their question and relationship advice premium, okay? People that are supposed to be in there. Now, for those of you who want to get my opinion or on your situation or want to get some advice from me, but you don't want to have your information on Front Street, me reading it out on the show is going to be public. You can also submit to me a private question through the same link on TikTok or the link in the description on YouTube where it says private question. Click where it says private question. You fill out a quick form so I can have your information, know who you are, and then you ask your question and I respond to you via email and I send you a voice message. So no one else sees your question except for me. So you can put in names, dates, whatever you want to put in there, and I'll answer your question all the same, okay? So we're going to start off with our first question here, which comes from Vic, all right? Our first premium question. Vic asks how to catch him back. Catch him back. That's interesting, okay? I've been in a long distance relationship with my boyfriend for a year. We only live 6 hours away by car. I'm sorry. Is only meant to be in the sentence? We only live 6 hours away by car, okay? I guess you're optimistic. At the beginning, when we argued and they were really silly fights, he could come to my house to talk to me. Okay. But after that, when we fought, he didn't give it the same importance anymore. He often prefers to change our plans to watch movies at night so he can play Xbox instead. I think you might say from watching movies at night to playing Xbox instead. And now I don't know what to do. I feel like he's drifting further away from me each time. And when I let him know about my discomfort, he always justifies his responses, apologizes, but never changes anything. What should I do? I'm sure he loves me, but his intensity has decreased a lot. And I don't like that. Every time he changes our plans, I respect what we initially agreed to and dedicate my time to what we plan to do. But he always changes it last minute. Last month, we celebrated our 1-year anniversary and he didn't even come to see me because his mom told him he was spending too much money on me. What? I think he was short on money, so he didn't come. In a week, it's my birthday, and he's not even sure if he'll be able to visit. Honestly, I want to make him suffer and feel like he's going to lose me. But just explaining my feelings isn't enough. It seems like he cares less and less. Let me bring it to you straight, okay? Because you asked me a question so I can bring it to you straight, and you're in premium, so I'm definitely going to bring it to you straight, okay? Vic. Break up with him. Make it very simple for you. Break up with him. I usually don't like to tell you guys what to do because I don't want to be responsible for your relationship ending. But here's the reality of it. you're not in a position where there's anything more to be done, because living 6 hours away is already hard enough. Remember, that's long distance. Let's not play any games. The reality of it is you can never, in a long distance relationship, if you're not with a guy who's twice as intentional as the average guy with you, a long distance relationship isn't going to work, because you're only going to end up frustrated, because it takes so much effort to see that person consistently when you live that far away from each other. And if that person isn't prepared to do that work plus more than other people would regularly have to do, then there's just no point to having the relationship. And so even if you guys weren't long distance and you guys had an anniversary, that should be a day where he sees you. Even if he doesn't, okay, I'm going to get mad. Maybe you love the relationship. Even if he doesn't have money, there's a way to show someone that you care about them and the relationship without spending a whole bunch of money. I get it. He's got to pay for gas if he wants to come see you. But what? Okay, so that's $40, $50. Okay. I know everyone goes through things. But if he doesn't have $40, $50 or however much it costs to fill his tank to drive to you for 6 hours, maybe it's $100. If he doesn't even have that to spend on one anniversary just to come see you and even just be with you, we're not even talking about going out or anything, just so he can spend that time with you. If he's that short on money, he probably needs to be single anyway so that he can solve his money problems. Because the reality of it is, like, nothing wrong with, money being a little bit tight for him. But if he's that short that he can't even muster up some money to just see you, not even go out with you, he's got different problems, okay? And like I said before, even if he didn't have money, there's still ways to figure out how you guys can spend, because time is free. There's still ways to figure out how you guys can spend time together, even though he's in a position where he doesn't have the finances for it. And the truth of the matter is, if he really knew that his situation was that dire, but he still wanted to see you that desperately, he would have let you know that, hey, I'm not doing well right now. I really want to figure out a way for us to spend our time together, even though I don't have the money right now. Is there something else that we can do? And he would work with you to try to figure something out. Just throwing his hands up and saying, oh, I don't have money, so we can't do it, that's not going to work. It's the exact reason why I tell you guys, don't waste your time on soy boys or shy boys who can't figure out solutions to problems. You need a man who can get up out of his bed and say, there's a problem here. There's going to be a solution for it. I'm going to figure out what the solution is. You can't do nothing with a man who says, oh, I'm a little short on money this week, so I'm just going to throw my hands up and we won't spend any time together because I'm a little short on money. Figure out the solution to the problem so you can have the relationship. See, this is the hardest part for some men. And this is why I don't want you guys wasting your time, because you're going to be frustrated trying to be like, hey, can't you figure out a solution here? Because you're going to be the one coming up with all the solutions. Because the lazy soy boy shy men, it's too hard for them to come up with solutions to problems. It's too much calories to be burned. I just don't want you wasting your time on that. And Vic, I'm starting to feel like you're wasting your time on that. You're already telling me when you guys plan to hang out, he'd rather stay inside and play Xbox. This type of stuff pees me off, It's not, I don't like to villainize games. Everyone has their thing that they like to spend their time doing, take their mind off things. But this type of stuff pees me off. You understand what I'm saying? So you're already telling me that he would rather than spend some time with you, he'd rather play Xbox. It's just so ridiculous. And he's short on money. Oh God, it itches my brain. So why doesn't he take some time out of his Xbox time and figure out ways to make more money? It's like painful. I'm telling you, you will be in pain dating a shy soy boy who can't get off his butt and do something with his life. You will be in pain all day. How can he play? It just doesn't even make sense. How can he play Xbox when he's not spending time with you and then be saying that he's short on money? Maybe spend less time on your Xbox Live membership playing video games that don't make you any money. And why don't you figure out a side hustle or a way that you can make some money or pick up some extra shifts at work so you aren't short on money? On top of that, if his mom is telling you he's spending too much money on you, then that means he still lives at home. That's fine, but that should also mean he should have excess funds if he's not paying for rent and probably not paying for groceries. And so if that's the case, where's all his money going? To Xbox? You got to break up with him. This type of stuff is ridiculous, okay? You can't do anything with a man like this. You really can't. You really can't. Because what are you supposed to do? Complain that he's not trying to spend time with you? Complain that, hey, why don't you? He doesn't even have the desire to get more money for himself so that he can see you more. So what's the point of any of this, right? He's short on money, but then he complains about being short on money while playing the video game that's making him no money and taking all his time. You have to, guys, you have to realize at a certain point, you can't explain logic to an idiot, okay? Someone who's so deep in their, like, just, I don't even know what to call it, just ignorance, that they can't even see how silly they're being. I don't want to curse, right? How silly they're being. There's just no point explaining it to them, right? At some point, you have to decide, yo, I want a big dog and I want a man that I don't have to explain every single little thing to. Not that, men should never have money problems or anything like that. But if you have money problems, and instead of using your time and energy to figure out how to not have money problems, you're sitting on the video game, and then you're spending all your time on the video game, and then you come out after the video game and complain about your money problems. I'm sorry. Those are the guys, they need to die off. You can't procreate with them. Don't be trying to use your energy to give them nothing. Don't be giving them head. Don't be giving them no Squirtle. Don't be giving them no nothing, no attention, no nothing. We got to evolve past them, because at the end of the day, those aren't the guys you should even be spending your time trying to build with. I really mean that. Like, let's get for real. Let's get for real. Get serious with your life. Get serious with your time, and who you spend it with. It can't be on guys like that. It really can't. I hate to make it sound horrible and mean, and it's not a diss to men, because obviously I am a man, and it's not even to pander. I just have to be real with you. You can't do anything with those men. You can't. So Vic, unfortunately, I think the only choice here for you is to break up with him until he figures out how to solve his money problems. Like I said, nothing wrong with having money problems. But if you have money problems and no solution to try to solve your money problems, or no strategy on how you're going to even attempt to fix that, waste of your time. What's the point? Because 5 months from now, he's still going to have money problems. And what will he have done with all that time he had money problems? Played Xbox. What's the... Let's move on. I don't want to get super upset here. All right. Next we have, we have Goddess. So Goddess says, update, return of the ex. Okay. Hi, Tommy. Thanks for your feedback last time. Word limit meant I didn't get my message across. He spoke for an hour and I listened. I found out more about him, and he said I'm easy to talk to and the only person who really knows him. That's great. That's awesome. I'm a therapist and know how to get to people to talk. He's got lots going on, a new job, moving to a new house, been single 9 months, divorced 6 years, wants to settle down with the right woman, wants to meet when I'm back home, meet his kids, but now nothing. I felt like a therapist. You say that's good, but now he's not messaged me in 2 days. I don't know if I don't know if now, I think you meant to say, if it's okay, don't want to be friend zoned. I got info and like what I learned. I didn't mean to sound like he just massaged my ego. Okay, good. Just to give you guys a quick summary, what Goddess is referring to is a guy that she reconnected with, that she dated when she was a teenager. And after dating him as a teenager, they reconnected, I believe it was 20 years later. And now they're kind of on the phone chit-chatting again. And all of a sudden, he's went from chit-chatting with her on the phone. Now he's just not messaging her at all. I take your point, though. I'm wondering if he felt he'd exposed his emotions too fast, so he pulled away. Do you think, do men think like this? No, I don't necessarily think that's it. I think that it's more just a case of the fact that after 20 years, you don't really know everything about what's going on in someone's life. And I know that you said he's been divorced for 6 years, but he also has children with the woman he's divorced. And so unfortunately, when you're talking to someone solely on the phone, they're still capable of hiding things from you, because the only way you have to confirm what he's saying is true or not is really just what he tells you. And it's a lot easier when you're only talking to someone over the phone for them to omit things or keep certain things from you. Not saying that, say that's what he's doing. I'm just giving you that as a reality. I'm abroad for 2 months. I can't tell if he's into me, intimidated, vulnerable, what. Was all going great, but now nothing. That's why I told you about the nice things he said and follow-up texts, but I omitted I got his life story. Does he need space? Did I wait too long to reply? He will reach out, but what do I do because he left me hanging a few days after? He's watching my stories. What do I say when he returns? Historically, made himself small because... Wait, what? Made myself small because of feeling intimidated by men, by feeling intimidated by my success and appearance. But I can't do that anymore, nor should you. Those men were weak and I always ended it. The bigger picture for me is I never chase, but I'm still single. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. You shouldn't be chasing. It doesn't stop me having a full life and running my own business. I know I'm a catch, but when I'm older, I'm older now and I want to settle down. Time is not on my side for making a family. Would never say that to them. Of course not. But we also don't want you living with a scarcity mindset. Okay, you have abundance in your life. Something must be off about me, what I'm doing, and maybe you can tell me. I want to explore this with my ex. What? But I'd never reach out for, oh, you mean like asking him like why it didn't work out? Don't do that. Please don't do that. If he doesn't want me, fine. But what's wrong with me? See, this is the problem. When you start believing that something's wrong with you, you immediately start thinking I should lower my standards so it can meet the standards that other guys are willing to live up to. Then you get a guy who is like the bare minimum. Seem to only attract guys I don't want. Thanks for your PM advice about not just meeting guys in bars. Girls, every time you leave the house is an opportunity to meet a good man. Tommy knows 100%. And if you want to change the type of guys you're meeting, I would always advise you to change your environment because that's going to change the type of guys you meet. Now, on the other hand here, for you, goddess, here's the thing. Like I said, you haven't seen this guy in 20 years. Of course, you spoke on the phone and like you said, he told you his life story. However, in the process of telling you his life story over the phone, there's definitely things that he can also leave out strategically. Okay. And I just want you to be aware that sometimes guys are going to leave things out, especially when you're meeting them and having conversation with them over the phone. And until you meet him in person and can confirm everything that he's saying is true, you're still not going to be able to know for sure. Okay. And that's the unfortunate part about building a long kind of distance relationship like this. And essentially it's from scratch because really after 20 years, you don't know that person. Okay. They're a new person. And so I say that to say, there might be a lot of things he's not telling you because the reality of it is, like you mentioned before, he told your kids about you. He told his kids about you and things like that. And he seemed to be taking this really seriously. For him to just disappear for days, but then also, like you said, be watching your stories. It's not like he's going through some sort of dire constraint where he can't send you a single message. So that just tells you either he's not that interested in you or he's been exaggerating or omitting a lot of important facts that are going on in his life right now that he just didn't mention to you because it probably wouldn't be advantageous to mention to you. So you have to almost like accept that in the process of following the logic train, when things stop making sense, there's actually a reason they stop making sense. And the only reason it becomes illogical to you is because you're missing information. So I say that to say, goddess, what you need to understand is this isn't a story of coincidence, that it was just a coincidence. He hasn't messaged you for days, but he's been watching your stories after telling you he told his kids about you. It's not. It's that you're missing information about his life, which if you had that information, you would know why he's doing these things that he's doing. Because it's unnatural for a guy to say he wants to build with you and he's telling his kids about you, but then disappear off you for days. And this is the thing. As time is going on, and like you said, You've got stuff going on for yourself, but like you said, time is going and you're feeling more and more anxious. We don't want you doing that, because the more anxiety you feel, the more you'll be willing to overlook clear and obvious signs and red flags because you just want to make something work with someone. And also the less you'll accept from men because you just want to make something work with someone. So think about this logically. Understand, if this was any regular guy, right? If this was just a random guy, you wouldn't accept this. If this was a guy that you really didn't like that much, that was already on thin ice, you wouldn't accept this. So why are you accepting this from this guy? Because you liked him? Because you liked the conversation you had one time or a couple times? Because you met him and you were friends with him and cool with him 20 years ago? What does that have anything to do with how he treats you now? Nothing. So you have to start realizing everyone gets the same treatment. If I wouldn't accept this from a guy I barely liked, and I wouldn't even entertain being with him if I barely liked him, why am I accepting this from this guy? The answer is you shouldn't be. So I say that to say, when he comes back, I'll give you very simple information here so you don't have to be confused on timelines. You're going to give it 2 weeks. If he comes back after 2 weeks, allow him to, if he wants to actually see you and build this or whatever, let's see how much he wants to build it. You're not going to reach out to him. You're not going to text him. You're not going to do anything for him. We'll see how much intention he has from there. If he reaches out again, you're not going to message him or anything. Now, if 2 weeks goes by and he doesn't message you within that time, so set an alarm so that you know exactly when 2 weeks has passed. If 2 weeks goes by and he keeps watching your stories and he doesn't send you a single message or call or anything, anytime he messages you or calls you after that, you completely ignore it. In fact, if you want to, after that day is up, after those 2 weeks are up, you can just block him because you're never going to speak to him again after that. Because after 2 weeks of not speaking to you, after all the silliness that he was talking about, I told my kids about you and I want to settle down and blah, 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 blah. Garbage. Okay? You're garbage. It's all garbage. And you know that for sure. I'm giving you a hard timeline so that you don't have to be confused on what's going on here. If 2 weeks goes by, meaning 14 days, mark it on your calendar, and he has not messaged you within 14 days, right? Normally I would say a week, but I just want to make it something that you can even say for yourself. That's too much. 2 weeks goes by and he has not messaged you. You will never speak to him again, even if he messages you the longest voice note or paragraph or storybook about what he was going through with this and going through with that and going through with this, okay? Because I don't want you feeling bad no matter what he messages you, okay? Because the reality of it is, even if, he was going through the craziest of crazy situations, he has a moment to message you. Let's be so for real. After 2 weeks, 14 days, mark it on your calendar. If he hasn't messaged you, you don't entertain anything. If he messages you within the 2 weeks, meaning I'm talking about 2 weeks from the last time he sent you a message. Not the last time you texted him. The last time he sent you a message, 2 weeks from that. If he messages you within that time, all you're going to do is pass the ball off to him, and you're only going to respond to him when spoken to, and you're only going to entertain him if he actually wants to be serious with you, but you're not putting in any more work after that, okay? And those are your two options, making it very easy for you, okay? So 2 weeks is the deadline, 14 days. After that, you're going to block him on everything, or you're just never going to speak to him again, no matter what he says, no matter what the excuse. Next, let's go into our free section here, and I'll answer some of our free questions, okay? Alexis Fields was deleted. I think she asked it in our, in our premium. Okay, Hoods here, says double trouble. Hi, Tomisin. Amazing content. Sending love. I'm 28. I've been married for 6 years. I have 3 kids with my husband who's 29. My husband is overseas and has been there for about 3 years. Oh, man. He comes home only 2 times in a year. Oh, boy, that's tough. I've been so lonely before my marriage. I used to live an exotic lifestyle. I was in my, in my Pound Town era. You know what? I admire the honesty. I used to get D down every single night. Let me take a little bit of a stretch here, Chad. I just I wasn't expecting this, so let's do a little stretch, Chad. All right, we're gonna do yoga for a little bit on the Players Club, okay? Hood said she getting D down every night. Okay. All right. Downward dog. Maybe we might have to do downward dog in this. Okay. Stretch out. All right. Okay. All right. Hoods was getting D down every single night before she got married. I'm surprised you don't have more kids. Okay. I was the freakiest. Obviously, this was years ago. Thankfully, now I got high standards. A year ago, I feel like I know where this is going. I went to a bar with my girl and her friends. One man ended up making small talk with me. Chat, do you know where this is going? I feel like I might know. Nothing too crazy, just random stuff. Later, he asked for my number. I said no. Anyways, plans changed, and we all, including him, ended up going to one of our girls' houses for more drinks. Here's the after party, chat. This is the after party. Remember, we're talking about Hoods, who was 28. Okay, so depending on how she took care of herself, she might be snatched again. She had 3 kids already, but she might be snatched again. She's 28, and she was living a freaky life, getting D down every single night. And her husband's been out or gone for 3 years, and he only comes back twice a year. Let's see what happens. Later, I was alone by the pool, sipping Henny in the cold night air. It's always Henny. Right? Henny or Casamigos. Yeah. Just enjoying my company. He came by, sat next to me, and asked me how I'm feeling. From the way we spoke, from there, we spoke for hours, just laughing and having a good time. Off that Henny, right? We had great chemistry. You always have great chemistry with people off that Henny. That or you're going to fight them. I felt something I haven't felt in a long time. Yeah, stimulation between your legs. That's what. Let's just be for real. There's blood flow between your legs. And you got that Henny in you. Extra blood flow. That's like a honey pack for you. Suddenly, he leaned in for a kiss. I said no. Did you say no, I'm married? Or did you just say no, not interested? Because those are 2 different no's. Okay? They still should be considered no, but trust me, they're 2 different no's. Our bodies were really close. So that's the very different type of no. He took my hand and placed it on his willy to show me how hard he was. I grabbed it by accident, I swear. All right, chat. I'm gonna take a lap. You know what, Hoods? I love you, but don't cap on the show. Chat. How many of you believe she? I'm gonna take a lap. Yeah. I grabbed it on accident. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Beside him, me and him in the pool. I put his hand on it. And I just, my hand slipped and gripped it. It slipped. Yeah. Isn't that how they talk about it, like in Wattpad stories? Yeah. My hand, when it was over his pee-pee, my hand twitched. I had a twitch. Don't you know I have Tourette's? I have Tourette's, and when he put it over his pee-pee, I gripped it on accident. It was it was a reflex to gripping pee-pee, because when I'm horned up, it does something to me. Yeah. Oh my days. It was the biggest snake I've ever seen. This is all horrible. Like, all of this is horrible. You're not a bad person, but this is all horrible. I knew this was going downhill from when you said you used to get D down every day, because you went out and you put yourself in a horrible position. You're already naturally horned up. You're just a horned up human being. That's nothing wrong with that. You're naturally horned up, and now you're out off the henny of all things at an after party, an AP, like the kids say. You're at an after party with the dude that's been pursuing you all night. You're sitting right next to him off that hen dog, and you're touching his schlong. Oh my God. You're not even giving yourself a chance to make the right decision. Not even giving yourself a chance. So we ended up having pineapples. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I will never forget that night. Me throwing it back on the rooftop. Chat. What the no, what the fuck is going on? No. Wait, nah, what is the wait, chat, okay, hold on. Nah. What is this message, yo? No, it's not okay. Nah, see, this is this is Discord time, not what, this is Wattpad. What are you doing here, hoods? Your name should be Horns, not Hoods. What the hell are you doing? Are you trying to, I hope you're not trying to justify this by talking, oh, I was throwing it back on the rooftop, looking up at the stars. What are you, nah, I'm getting up again. Nah, you can't be sending me a message like talking about I'm throwing it back on the wall, looking up at the star. Nah, you're crazy. Nah, you're insane. You're nah. You on some freaky type stuff right now. You on some different freak type stuff right here. Nah, I've never in my life had to get up 3 times for a single message. This is insanity. Okay? Me throwing it back on the rooftop. His anaconda plunging through me. This is legit Wattpad. All right, chat. Sorry, I thought we were in Discord time. We're in Wattpad time. So just retrain your brain for that, please. Kids under 20, please exit the chat, please. I beg of you. This isn't for your ears. So that one night stand turned into almost every night stand till now. Okay. Anyways, I recently started going to his house. Long story short, today I found out that I am pregnant. I'm gonna get up for a 4th time, and I'm yeah. Wow. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh my God. This is not good. This is not good. I don't know if I'm going to be able to have an answer for you. I really don't. This is just throwing me for too much of a loop here. Yesterday, I went to his house and I see a wall full of pictures, and Tomisin, you wouldn't believe, my husband is in the photo! What the fuck? No! You're so cooked. You're so cooked. You're so cooked. Oh my God, you're so cooked. Oh my God. I've never seen someone so cooked. You're cooked. Oh my God. You're so cooked. I want to cry. How can one person be so cooked? Oh God. I'm actually sick. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is insane. No, I don't think you guys actually understand. I think she actually has the next, like, Tyler Perry movie on her hands. This is insane. I started freaking out internally. My blood turned into water. I gotta go sit down. This is the last thing I wanted to happen. I go to the wall and I was like, okay, who's this man? This guy said, oh, that's my brother. Nah. Some people said this is someone said it's a story from Reddit? Is it a story from Reddit? Because I see Miami Vixen said I've seen this story before. Maybe there's no way. It's gotta be copy and pasted. It's gotta be, maybe. Someone sent me in the Discord a link to the Reddit post, because this is crazy. The way she was going crazy with that, I was like, this doesn't even sound like there are regular people in the Discord. Okay, he starts telling me that they're really close, but he doesn't see him much because he lives overseas. So I'm like, oh, okay, do you know if he's married? He said, oh yeah, he lives with his wife and 2 kids in Finland. I'm thinking to myself, his wife and 3 kids are here in the United Kingdom. He starts showing me pictures of my husband with 2 kids, and the children looked identical to my sons. I'm just staring at these pictures in disbelief. Mind you, I still haven't told this man that I'm pregnant with his child and also with his brother's child. Please tell me what to do, Thompson. Thanks for your time. See, this is why I love having a great, smart, intelligent chat. And you guys are I would have never, ever known, because I'm not on Reddit and I don't read stories like this. So I would have never known that this even was out there. I actually thought that this was 100% true until I started seeing you guys spam that I've seen this before. And even Miami Vixen said I've seen this before. But Hoods, you almost had me. I was going to say you have the next Tyler Perry movie on your hands. That was good. That was good. Right? That was good. Okay. Assuming that you, because I would have been sitting here for hours trying to figure out how to help you in your situation. That was good though. You did good. You know what? You got me. Chat, I'll give it. You got me. Because I don't be reading Reddit and stuff like that. So it's easy to get me that way. But the chat, there's a lot. See, there's a lot of people here. So we got over 1,000 people watching every time we do the stream. So they know, they're smart. They'll catch you. They'll catch you if I don't. But that was good. You gave us a good little heart racer there, Hoods. Okay. Funny. Only one Nagi. Okay. Second date fumbled. We'll call you Nat. Okay. We'll just say Nat. Hey, I had 2 dates with this guy. He is my type. We have a lot in common, although he is a bit older than me. I'm nearly 33. He's 48, but he doesn't seem his age. First date was coffee. He was quite forthcoming and wanted to meet. We don't text a lot, so that's fine. Right after the first date, he asked me on a second date for drinks. Second date was going well. We ended up going back to high school. I have a dog, and so does he. I got my dog and took her to his. So I got my dog and took her to his. Wait, what? Okay, yeah. We got quite drunk, though. Oh, boy. And this is where it went wrong. My behavior was quite messy. Oh, my God. My dog pooped on his carpet. Oh my God, your dog's probably nervous. I helped him clean it. Then it's a bit fuzzy, but I remember saying he was a player and I was going to leave, but I'm not sure why. I was very drunk, so I don't actually think he's done anything wrong. Nat, I don't want to poop on anyone who does drugs or drinks, because I used to drink. I don't anymore, but I used to. So that would be disingenuous of me. But like, it's like, if you know that you can't control your drinking, like know when to stop, then you're probably best served to just not do it at all, because it will always be like, if you're drunk to the point you can't even really remember a conversation, and this is like the second date with a guy, and you're getting like, oh, basically you're saying you're blackout drunk. Because if you're blackout, if you essentially can't remember or recollect like the conversation or what has happened, that's essentially being blackout drunk. If you're blackout drunk around a guy that you just met, first of all, like, let's even say, aside from the romantic sense, like, that's a safety issue, because you don't know that guy or what he's capable of, and you're putting yourself in such a vulnerable position where you don't even know what's going on. Like, you can't even remember the fact that you're saying with the guy you just met, you can't even remember what was going on, and this is like, you're at his house, like, that's not safe at all. That's not safe at all. Like, you can't even remember what was said or what was done. You were that drunk. I ended up staying anyways, and we ended up hooking up. I mean, you're barely able to recollect the moment. So, I mean, of course, I'm not shocked. That's a mistake, though. We got up the next day, and things seemed okay. Hugged me, etc., and felt cool, but I still felt quite hungover and possibly still drunk. What? Also, by the way, just to keep this in mind as well, when you get that drunk, you can end up saying a lot of things that actually, just make you very unattractive to guys. Not that, you should be so scared to be like drink around men, but like, when you get drunk, like we all do this. I used to do this as well. I'd get drunk and I'd be really just like, not necessarily obnoxious, but just say things that I regularly wouldn't. Like, I'm a naturally smooth and cool guy, but if I'm drunk, I'm saying things that aren't smooth and aren't cool. In fact, in some ways, I can be cringe when I'm drunk, but obviously I'm drunk, so I'm not realizing that. But then it's like, people don't forget you being cringe like that. You understand what I'm saying? So then you now have to kind of like pick up the pieces for cringe you and start to like, have to like swim upstream to try to do the work that cringe you has kind of like messed up. So don't do that to yourself, where you're having to kind of like, be interesting and charismatic and cool against the cringe version of you that was drunk and blackout. Okay, right? So Lillian said, happened to me, never talk to me again. Exactly. And you just don't want to mess the opportunity of getting someone to be interested in you by being so drunk around them that you just act a fool. Okay. I used to do that, trust me. And that's part of the reason why I don't drink anymore, because I don't even want to be in that position anymore. It's it makes me feel very gross. I left at about 9:30 a.m. and realized when I got home, my house keys and jacket was still at his. Messy yet again. Exactly. You don't look like an adult when all these things are happening. Leaving your keys, leaving your jacket. Like, that's stuff that we do when we were 19, 20 years old getting drunk. Not when we're supposed to be adults. You know what I mean? Still so hungover, you don't even know where any of your stuff is. You don't remember the night before. Can't still be doing that as an adult. I couldn't get in my house, so I called him, and like it just... and he found the keys. I went to my friend's house to sleep the hangover off. This is not good. Before I drove there and got them, I brought him some Vanish for his carpet to say sorry for my dog pooping on it, and he gave me another hug before I left. This is literally, no pun intended, this is a poop show, okay? I got home and we didn't speak. I probably wouldn't speak to you either, to be super honest with you. I know he was probably drunk too, but probably not a good experience for either of you, to be honest. I texted him the next day saying that I was getting flashbacks and I was feeling the fear from my behavior, and that I also hope he sorted the stain out on his carpet. He replied saying my behavior was messy and that I was calling him an F-boy and that he hadn't done anything wrong, that he had got the stain out and the Vanish on the carpet. Wait, what? And the vanish was on the carpet as we spoke. I messaged him back saying that I think I made a bad impression and that I typically don't hold myself in that manner, that I think I had too many drinks. I've not had a response. It's been 3 days. I'd like another chance. What should I do? Now, this question came August 27th, so obviously over almost like a month ago. I would love to know, Nat, what your current standing with that situation is now, if he ever messaged you after that. Please give us an update if you can. If you can, send a premium question so that we can see it like tomorrow or something. Please, I would love to know an update, Nat, because in my estimation, that this is done. This is done. Part of the problem, and like I said, this is not to villainize any of you guys who drink or, like to have fun or even do drugs, whatever your vice is, okay? Because I've had vices before, and that's, I made mistakes as well. Don't think I'm perfect. But I just say that to say this is part of the problem, right? Because when you get drunk like that, especially when you start getting drunk or start drinking, it's very hard for you to stop or know your limits, which is not a natural thing. It's like most people go through that, right? When you start drinking, it's harder to know your limits. And you embarrass yourself like that, it's cooked. You're cooked. You cook yourself. You cook yourself. And especially when you embarrass yourself like that at the very beginning, there's just no way for people to unsee that. You understand? That's the second date. Not only was your dog pooping on his carpet, but the whole thing was just a poop show. And on top of that, you slept with him for nothing. Okay. So you don't look good for that as well. And on top of that, you just acted a mess, like a teenage, girl. Like, I don't even want to say teenage girls if all teenage girls are like that, because that's just like an immaturity thing. You're so drunk, you barely remember what's going on. You wake up, you can barely even walk. You left your keys, you left your jacket. You're going home. You can't even get into your own house. You gotta call him so he can help you find your keys because everything's everywhere. You lost your wallet, you lost your ID. That's stuff that we did when we first got legal and we first started going to the club and being able to go out, and we just overdid it. Okay, that's the experience that we were having at that age. And you're 33. This is not to age shame or anything, but you should have outgrown this by now, right? And this stage in your life where you're doing that. And there's a bigger issue at play if you feel like the way to go about a date, is to be blackout drunk with him. Now, I know obviously you didn't go into that date saying, I want to be blackout drunk, but you should understand how poorly a date could go if you get to that point. I don't think, me personally, if you guys want my advice, I don't think you should ever be going out on a date in the early stages with a guy and ever be drinking anything but wine. Simply because wine is a lot harder to become, belligerently drunk off of than it is if you guys are taking shots of hard liquor, okay? Whether you're going to a club with the guy, going out with the guy, whatever, I always encourage you, drink wine if you really want to drink. Get you a nice Pinot Grigio that you like. I've got a couple nice Rieslings on my Instagram page from when I used to drink. I've left them up there. You can go and use my recommendations and go buy those Rieslings and those Pinot Grigios. Drink those. You'll get a nice buzz. You'll feel good. You'll feel sexy, feel ready to go, but you won't have the crazy over the top drunkenness, okay? Just simply because even when you're sipping on it, you're just never going to be able to get as drunk as you can taking hard liquor shots. Horrible mistake to be blackout drunk with a guy that you just met. You will ruin all your chances at building with him, ruin all your chances at presenting yourself as a respectable woman. Trust me, after a situation like that, he's not going to have any respect for you. That ship has sailed, but use that as a learning lesson for your future so that you know what not to do when you're meeting guys or trying to build relationships with them, okay? Gotta hold your liquor like Cara said. And it's not to be mean. Like I said, I used to drink too. So it's not like I'm more evolved than you or anything like that. But just understand you can't undo what people see and hear from you when you're in that state. So if you're nervy about the things that you say or do when you get drunk like that, you probably have to reconsider the drinking, which is exactly what I did. Okay? All right, chat. That's the show for today. I hope you guys got some value out of that. That was a crazy story. I might have to post that one because that one just took me for a loop. I didn't know that was a Reddit story, so that was real for me. I really didn't know until you guys said it. But thank you for making me alert that you guys are so smart and intelligent. That's why I need you. I need you, okay? I need you all here every day. For those of you guys who want to ask me a question and you want me to do it very fast, you can go send me a relationship advice premium question or a private relationship question, and I answer it to you privately. And you can do that by going link in the bio, clicking either premium question or private question, and putting in your Discord username and the title of your question, or just sending it to me directly and putting the title of your question as well, okay? For those of you, or this is the link in the description as well, both the premium questions and the private question. For those of you who want to follow me on Instagram that are wondering what my Instagram is for those recommendations of the wines that I said you should probably try out, they're on my Instagram. It's just Tomisin_Tub for those of you on YouTube as well. And you guys can find those. They're in my highlights there. So just click through my highlights. You'll see the wines that I recommend. Okay. For those of you who are on TikTok and you want to rewatch the show, this was a long one we did today. We be doing like 3-hour shows nowadays. For those of you who want to rewatch the show because you missed parts of it or you came late, go ahead and go all the way to my my YouTube page, and go over to just type my name in Tomisin. Even if you just type my first name, you go over to the live section of my YouTube page, and then you'll be able to see this live stream along with all the other live streams I've done since the beginning of time. And the best part is you'll have the YouTube and TikTok live chat embedded in the video, so you won't miss a moment of conversation from all the jokesters in the chat. All right. I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday, until we meet again. I'm every week at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you got to make sure you join me at the time, 4 p.m. EST. So it's not PST. It's not your time zone. It's EST, my time zone. I live in Toronto. So until we meet again, which will be tomorrow at 4 p.m., goodbye, arrivederci, au revoir, adios, salam, ciao, hasta la vista, sayonara, bon voyage! And I'll see you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you. Love you.